Good evening and welcome to Labatt Memorial Park. What ended up being an absolutely gorgeous day here in London, Ontario, Canada. I hope you're having a great Labor Day long weekend so far. I want to say thank you for tuning into our broadcast for Game 2 of the London Majors taking on the Barrie Baycats. I'm your host, Justin Kohler with MajorsTV. Incredibly excited to have you, and we have a whole lot of fun in store for you through the broadcast today. The Baycats currently lead the series 1-0 here in the second round of the IBL playoffs. After defeating the Majors on Thursday 8-2, the Majors hoping to turn things around in today's matchup, kind of unlock the offense a little bit, and hoping to do so today. Before we get going, be sure to like and subscribe here on MajorsTV to tune into this game, the rest of the series, and all future games moving forward. And so, without further ado, let's send it up to Ty and Josh in the Game Day London press box. And gentlemen, what a fun way to start September.
Thanks so much for that, Justin. Welcome, folks, inside the Game Day London press box here at downtown London, Labatt Memorial Park. It's Game 2 of the IBL semifinals on a picturesque night for baseball here in downtown London. The red-hot Barrie Baycats in town leading the series 1-0 over the Majors, who are desperately trying to even things up before the trip back to Barrie tomorrow evening. It's the BPA Fitness pregame show on MajorsTV. I'm Ty Wade alongside Josh Alderman. It's a pleasure to have you with us, folks, from wherever you may be. Now, Josh, let's rewind to what Justin talked about, that first game in the series. It's a best of 5, leading 1-0 over the Barrie Baycats, an 8-2 victory. Now, that is a little bit lopsided considering that the teams were entering the 7th inning and the score was 2-1 in favor of Barrie.
The Majors struck early and struck big. Caden Cardoso, Eduardo De Olio, and Cleveland Brownlee all got their bats alive. The Majors were leading heading into the 7th inning. It was a big standoff, a big duel between two almost aces of both sides, Travis Keys and Frank Garces. But then the Barrie Baycats, they blew up. Their bats exploded in the bottom of the 8th inning.
They really did. The Barrie Baycats have one of the best offensive teams all season long, and it's been showing very prominently in the playoffs thus far. Malik Williams, Nolan McAbrota, names of note, especially Brandon Hernandez, someone who we will talk about later. A late addition to the Barrie Baycats roster in the month of August, who's been doing a fantastic job so far. Now let's talk a little bit about how both teams got here in the 2024 playoffs. Obviously, the London Majors defeated the Cardinals 3-1 in their series. However, a little bit concerning, they were outscored 28-19. They scored 4 or less in 4 or 5 games that they've played in the playoffs so far. And on the flip side, the Barrie Baycats, it's been quite the opposite. They swept the Maple Leafs 3-0, outscored them 36-20, and have scored 14 or more in 2 games, at least 8 runs in 4 of their last 6. Now, let's see how that shake-ups the 2024 Dominical Cup playoff bracket here, Josh. Obviously, the playoff seeding has changed a little bit considering that Guelph moved over to the left-hand side of your screen in the semifinals, and that's because the seeding really does not matter. It's just about, the seeding is what actually does matter, not necessarily what side the team are coming into the playoff bracket. London taking on Barrie. And on the flip side, the team that you've had experience with, the Guelph Royals, taking on the Welland Jackfish. What can you tell us about that series?
The Royals stole an early win in the first game on Thursday at the Pond in Welland, 4-2. The bats came alive and the pitchers did their job. They earned their money that night. And then last night, back at David E. Hastings Stadium, I had the pleasure of calling that game with Mark Perry, and it was simply a spectacle. A pitcher's duel between Jacob Cush and Teodoro Ortega, just really went at it. The score was 1-1 heading into the 10th inning. Then Welland's bats came alive. The Royals fought in the bottom of the 10th. A Josh Garton 2-run home run got them close, got them within 1 of tying it up, but they just couldn't make it happen. Either way, Barrie or London, whoever advances, they're going to have their work cut out for them. The Guelph Royals are really heating up, and the Welland Jackfish, well, they're the Welland Jackfish.
A formidable opponent in first place in Welland as well as Guelph, 2 of the teams that could be in the final. London or Barrie trying to meet them in this semifinal. Now let's take a look at tonight's starting pitchers presented by Throw, London's original knife throwing. It's the battle of the 2 Dominicans on the mound tonight. For the Barrie Baycats, right-handed pitcher Cesar Rosado, standing 6'1", 200 pounds. And on the flip side for London, the big 6'5" left-hander Victor Payano, who has been absolute fire in the playoffs so far. A really highly anticipated pitching matchup. One of the best regular season pitchers versus the best playoff pitchers so far. Folks, that's all we have for the BPA Fitness pregame show. We'll be back with you shortly to tip things off in the first pitch. Don't go anywhere. You're watching MajorsTV.
London, Ontario, the world's oldest baseball grounds. Now through Labor Day, book your guided tour and walk the same field as Ty Cobb, Fergie Jenkins, Honus Wagner, and some of baseball's most legendary players. View artifacts from over the years inside the original 1940 clubhouse. Experience baseball history in London, Ontario. Book your guided tour at labattparktours.ca.
London International Airport provides a stress-free, easy and comfortable passenger experience. Visit flyYXU.ca to see our affordable sun destinations for winter. Travel is easy when you fly YXU.
National anthem's underway and things are heating up here at Labatt Memorial Park, the world's oldest baseball grounds since 1877. Welcome, folks. You're watching MajorsTV, an IBL semifinal playoff action between the Barrie Baycats and the London Majors. Ty White alongside Josh Alderman. For all our crew here, thank you so much, folks, for joining us on this beautiful evening in downtown London. Now, one of the outstanding players for the Majors so far, luckily for them, is starting on the mound tonight. Number 55, Victor Payano, who's been nothing short of spectacular. He has definitely been what we like to nickname him here, Victor K-ano. Absolutely incredible. He struck out 27 of 55 batters that he faced. That's a 0.64 ERA in the 2024 playoffs. 14 innings pitched. He's walked 2, only allowed 10 hits against. And if the Majors come out victorious tonight and even out this series, he's certainly going to be one of the reasons why, Josh.
He has really formed himself into a playoff ace. He didn't have a bad regular season. 2.94 ERA. 295, 5 wins, 4 losses, 3 saves, 67 innings pitched. Across that, he had only 18 walks, but also struck out 90. So his regular season wasn't bad, but when the lights have shone the brightest, Payano has turned up the heat.
In Payano's last game, he appeared on August 27th versus Hamilton in a 4-1 playoff win. He has 2 wins to his name in the playoffs. That's most on the Majors, obviously. And in 6 innings pitched on August 27th, he struck out 13 with a .86 whip and a 0.64 ERA. Dominant from the Dominican. Majors and Roop Chanderdat, pitching coach Brent Wills looking for more of that this evening. Time to take a look at the Barrie Baycats offensive roster for tonight. They're being led off by Canis Ijo, followed by Brandon Hernandez, Malik Williams, Ryan Rijo in the cleanup spot, Nolan Macabroda, Hayden Jaco not playing catcher today, but rather in right field, Adamad, Royce Ando, and rounding things out is Tyler Plumpton. Obviously, Cesar Rosado on the mound for them tonight. A very strong offense we talked about in the pregame, Joshua. Really one of the best in all the IBL, and in the playoffs, they're showing why they had such a terrific regular season.
They were second in almost every offensive category to the Welland Jackfish, of course, who are, as I mentioned, the Welland Jackfish. But they have been simply phenomenal here in the playoffs. 15 doubles, that's first. 41 RBIs, I can't even believe it. 41 RBIs, that's tied for first with the Welland Jackfish. 34 strikeouts against, third lowest in the playoffs. 5 stolen bases, surprisingly, tied for third with Welland and the already eliminated Hamilton Cardinals, and a .375 batting average. That is good for first in the playoffs.
Well, the table is set and the players out on the field now, getting ready for the first pitch from Payano to Canis Ijo. This game, although it's not technically a must-win, spiritually it definitely seems that way for the Majors, as going down 2-0 back to Barrie tomorrow night is seemingly a death sentence. They need to string together a strong performance tonight.
The Barrie Baycats are a tall task. They are a formidable opponent. When that offense gets going, it cannot be stopped. Your London Majors really need to pull themselves together and fight. Just fight. Get runs on the board, get them often, get them early, and just try and do the best that you can to limit the Baycats offense. And I think by putting Payano out there, that has to be the mindset.
The second pitch to Ijo, fastball inside, is going to be called for strike one. Payano's first strike of the evening, and wants to switch up the balls. It was a nice hard fastball inside. We've seen that a lot from Victor Payano. He's played an interesting role on the Majors team, taking a back seat to Travis Keys and Jose Arias, then making a name for himself towards the end of the season, and now the playoffs as an ace. The Majors definitely need his talents against such a formidable opponent in the Baycats offense. Fastball inside, high and inside, called for a ball, count at 2-1.
Good check swing there from Ijo. Got the bat back in time. Saw that one was coming inside. Didn't want to take a hack at it, and a smart move by the 2023 second-team All-Star.
The 2-1 from Payano to Ijo. Fastball is swung on and hit out to deep center field. Towards the left, it's carrying, but eventually gets into the glove of Gibson Kresminski, playing center field today for the Majors. Good contact on that one from Ijo, but pretty routine play in the end for the Majors outfield.
Nothing too troubling for Kresminski and company. Really wasn't too much going there. I think Ijo just got a little too under that pitch. He knew what he wanted. He had the power to go for it, and you look at his stats, 5 home runs in the regular season, 17 doubles. He's got the power to go the distance, but couldn't put it past Kresminski and Payano. Got a little too under it.
So now steps up Brandon Hernandez, someone who we talked about as one of the best players in all the IBL. In the latter half of the season, swing and a miss there for strike one on the outside fastball from Payano. Hernandez coming over from the Frontier League and also spent a lot of time with the St. Louis Cardinals organization, playing a lot of rookie ball, single A ball, as his pitch is well inside, but he's been absolutely fantastic so far. In these playoffs of 2024, he's batting .667. That's best in the IBL. 12 hits in 18 at-bats and 6 runs to his name, Josh.
He's got 12 RBIs, 2 walks, and look at the regular season, too. Well, wait a second there as he...
It's going to be chopped off, and a long throw is not in time from Ty Mosher, playing second today, over to Caden Cardoso. So, as we were talking about how good and quick he is offensively, Hernandez is the first to reach base today. It'll be a single to Hernandez. Baycats already doing damage early on.
Hernandez picking up his 13th hit of the playoffs across 5 games. That is simply stellar. And look at his regular season. 30 hits across 21 games, 5 doubles, 14 RBIs, 12 runs scored. Despite his offensive prowess, his good vision for the ball, he's got subtle speed. Something a lot of people, you look at his offensive numbers and you think that's all he can do.
Yeah.
He is very, very speedy, something that Payano and the Majors really want to keep an eye on as this game progresses.
This pitch from Payano, fastball down the middle. It'll be looked on by Malik Williams. Malik Williams really was the first stun of offense against Travis Keys last game. Hit a home run for Barrie and started the offense off for them. Looking for more of the same. Payano drops in that one was a breaking curve. A little bit too high, though, outside of the strike zone. Count at 1-1.
That one home run against the Majors in Thursday night's game, his only home run of the playoffs so far. 6 RBIs as well. He's really done a lot of damage. And you look up and down this Barrie Baycats lineup, this is arguably the strongest lineup that they could have put together. A murderer's row from 1 through 9. The Majors really have their work cut out for them, but I think they can do it. They've put together a strong lineup in return. This is going to be a battle that you want to watch through to the end.
Definitely will. Williams batting .467 in the 2024 playoffs.
Had 24 RBIs in the regular season, just 1 home run, but also had 35 hits across 31 games, came around to score 16 times as well. Another guy with speed that's underrated and just fantastic contact here in his second year with the Baycats organization.
Hernandez still winning over on first, and the 2-1 is belted, but it's going to be well foul, though the run is going to be made by Byron Reichstein. We'll take a quick look at the Majors defense. Starling Joseph in left, Kresminski in center, Byron Reichstein over in right. Third base is Victor Plaz. Over at short is Ty Mosher. Tristan Osika playing second. Caden Cardoso at first. Payano on the mound, and as always, Eduardo De Olio behind the plate. The 2-2, looking for another strikeout. Payano trying to get his first of the game. This one is just going to carry foul. Dangerously close to what almost looked like definitely was going to get Hernandez over to third.
That's what I was talking about. Just a second it left Williams' bat. Hernandez was off like a shot. He was gone. He was almost ready to round second by the time that one got called a foul ball. Subtle speed and something that Payano, glancing over a couple times, he really has to keep his eye on Hernandez.
Playing on the tip of his toes, Brandon Hernandez. Count is still 2-2 to Williams, though. The toss from Payano. A ball was breaking high and it was going to be fouled off towards our direction. Here in the Game Day London press box, as we mentioned, a gorgeous night for baseball. Really couldn't ask for a better night. Not too hot outside, a slight breeze and a lot of shade here for the fans at Labatt Memorial Park. Pretty good turnout for a Sunday evening. Happy Labor Day weekend. Happy September to everybody watching. Back to school season starting. As Payano is trying to heat up. Another ball that was fouled off. This is a good at-bat for Malik Williams.
He's really fighting, and if you're the Baycats, you've got to imagine the strategy that they have in mind. If you're the Barrie Baycats, you want to run up Payano's pitch count. Get him out of the game early. We talked about how stellar he's been, the strikeouts, the punch-outs that he gets almost nightly. Every time he gets sent into a game, he only gave up 10 hits across 2 games against the Hamilton Cardinals. Gave up 2 walks as well across those 2 games. He is a stellar pitcher, an ace of the postseason, and they need to get him out early. They need to run up counts just like Williams is doing now. If that's the strategy, they are working it to perfection.
Majors only had 2 pitchers appear in their last game versus Barrie on Thursday. Decent numbers, as you mentioned, trying to keep that low and keeping out Payano for as long as possible. This ball is going to sail well past the stanchions. And a souvenir for some little fans. Another good ball fouled off by Malik Williams. As you mentioned, Josh trying to dig deeper into Payano's pitch count early in the first. Over 15 now, Victor Payano already.
Hernandez still a cautious lead over at first.
Keep an eye out on that. The count still 2-2. 1 out for the Majors. Could this be a Payano strikeout? Another ball's going to be rocketed off the bat of Williams, carrying into the same area. I believe that's 3 balls now in this at-bat that have made it over to that tree in right field. And my goodness, he is not letting up.
Say nothing else about Brandon Hernandez if you can't say that he's a chatty guy. He's making fast friends with Caden Cardoso over there. They've been chatting in between every pitch. We'll have to see if that new friendship gets broken by a pickoff attempt.
Perhaps a strategy, maybe a gift of the gab over there at first. Trying to loosen Cardoso up as this ball inside from Payano. It's going to be fouled off once again from Malik Williams, and you really have to applaud him here. Fantastic discipline, good bat speed, and able to tick off almost everything Payano has thrown his way.
I really like the strategy from Payano, trying to go inside, outside, fastballs, breaking balls, whatever you can do to get rid of the powerful contact of Malik Williams. As he faces a 2-2.
He has been working the plate. This ball broke nicely. It's going to be a bouncer off the glove of Mosher over to first, and it will be in time to punch out Malik Williams. Finally, the Majors able to get the better of Williams, but not before Brandon Hernandez advances over to second.
That's going to bring up the DH, Ryan Rijo. An IBL first-team All-Star last season in his 7th year with the Baycats. All-time with Barrie, he's got a .344 batting average, 36 home runs, 193 RBIs, and 286 hits.
Been playing with the Baycats back since 2017, arguably the most known Baycat on the roster. Been one of their best players, attended New Mexico Junior College. Fastball hard and down low. Majors 2 outs now in the top of the first inning. And desperately looking for this third one here as the pitch count is running up near the 20s now for Victor Payano.
Rijo, just 26 years of age, 2 RBIs already this postseason, and now hungry for more.
This toss from Payano, carrying outside, is going to touch that bottom corner. And the Majors get the call there. So 1-1 count to Ryan Rijo.
Riho in the regular season, 254 batting average, 6 home runs, 13 RBIs, but he also struck out 32 times. I watched back a couple Baycats games, and the fastball is not his friend.
Riho is going to slice one into center field. Gibson Kresminski making the short run, and the Majors punch out the side. Finally, after a ton of pitches, over 20 from Victor Payano. So, although no runs scored, and the furthest they made it is second base with Brendan Hernandez, a really fantastic job by Malik Williams. Let's talk about that. Really getting this pitch count up high.
Running up the count, swinging at practically everything he saw. He was going for it, obviously wanting to advance the runner, try and cash in Hernandez, of course, with the speed, the wheels that he's got. He probably would have been able to anything that hit the outfield. It's deep enough, I mean. Malik Williams, just an excellent job, and Payano, to his credit, was throwing everything in his arsenal at him. Inside, outside, high, low, curveballs, fastballs, and the like. Really fantastic battle between two fantastic players.
Payano is really diversifying his pitches early on and getting a good feel for it.
As now we're going to get to see the very first of Cesar Rosado here at Labatt Park.
Rosado, as you mentioned, 7-1 in the regular season with a 2.04 ERA. In the playoffs, he has one win to his name, 1.28 ERA, and he last appeared August 24th versus the Toronto Maple Leafs in a 4-3 victory there. He pitched 7 innings, and he struck out 11. So two pitchers who are very good with those strikeouts can get that count fairly high. And we keep an eye on that in this game, but it should be a fantastic pitching matchup on paper. We'll see how the Majors offense is able to deal with these prolific pitcher in Cesar Rosado. For the Majors, Gibson Kresminski is going to be leading things off, followed by Caden Cardoso, Eduardo De Olio, Byron Reichstein in the cleanup spot, something that we haven't seen too much this season. Starling Joseph batting fifth, followed by Cleve Brownlee, who's DHing today. Victor Plaz, Ty Mosher, and Tristan Osika round things out for the Majors order.
Let's take things back to Rosado real quick. He played 6 years in the Houston Astros organization. The highest he ever got was AA with Corpus Christi. Had a 7.04 ERA, 1 win, 6 losses across 53 innings pitched, 67 strikeouts, but also hit 10 batters and gave up 53 runs. He struggled there. That was about 5 or 6 years back, but now here in the IBL, he has really settled in nicely.
Let's see if he can match Victor Payano and put up a nice 0 for his side. And the bottom of the first. Gibson Kresminski checking in. He had a strong season for the Majors. In the playoffs so far, unfortunately only batting 0.56 actually.
Yeah, 1 hit, just 2 runs scored, 1 stolen base, but he has struck out 6 times across 5 games played. Not something you want to see if you're the Majors. Someone as formidable as Kresminski already in his 2nd year with the Majors, putting up those kinds of numbers.
He's going to foul one off to the left side of the bleachers off the pitch from Cesar Rosado. Rosado, very calm, very steady pitcher. Commands great control at the mound. Stared down many opponents and sat them down this year. As we mentioned, the Inter-County Baseball League's regular season strikeout leader. This toss from Rosado. Looming outside, it's going to be cranked by Kresminski. A few oohs and ahs as that one made its way over to the crowd. Once again, crowd getting involved fairly early on both sides of the bleachers.
But you love to see it. That means the bats are heating up against 2 very fantastic pitchers. Dare I say we could be in for a high-hit, high-scoring affair here tonight.
Would make it interesting. This ball well outside, and it's going to be caught by Tyler Plumpton. As we mentioned, typically not the catcher, Tyler Plumpton. Usually it's number 55, Hayden Jaco. He's out in right field today. Actually beloved around these grounds. A former Major, brought his dog to the game before, a nice German Shepherd, and said hello to a fair few familiar faces. This 1-2, beautiful ball inside. Had so much movement on that, and it broke directly towards the stomach of Kresminski, but it was too far inside, and the count is now full.
Started far right, drifted far left, just broke at the wrong time, I think. Way inside, right at the knees, and now a full count against Gibson Kresminski.
Good eye from Kresminski to leave that. The full count from Rosado. Outside, it's going to be swung on from Krasminski. And already a strikeout is recorded for Cesar Rosado. 1 up and 1 down. Let's take a look while we have a chance at today's umpires of the game. Our crew chief at home plate is Jeff Rose. On third base is Sean Schaefer. And over at first is Chris Walters.
Well, that is going to bring Caden Cardoso up to the plate, starting at first base tonight. And now a chant of "Oh, Caden Cardoso" breaking out here at Labatt. A fan favorite already here in his rookie season, arguably the IBL Rookie of the Year.
Makes a very good case at a near 20-game hit streak for the London Majors. That's the longest of anyone in the IBL this season. Former player of Antelope Valley in California is going to strike on this one, and we'll get past him for strike 1.
Cardoso in the regular season had a season to remember. 327 batting average, 8 home runs, 28 RBIs, 15 stolen bases, and the aforementioned hitting streak led to 53 hits in 41 games, and he takes a big hack at that one. No doubt he was looking to go yard, but came up with nothing but air. 0-2 now the count.
He did take a chop at it. It looked like it was hanging at the right time for him to take a swing, but just broke perfectly. As I mentioned, the command from Rosado on the plate is next to none in the IBL. So technical. Except for that one there, it was fastball really high and outside. Of course, the announcer's jinx coming in.
The famous IBL announcer's curse.
It's happened a few times this season by my tally, but Rosado trying to get that fastball under control. Despite his breaking pitches, seem to be working quite well for him so far.
He's really settling in. I mean, having watched a summer of IBL games, you see a lot of pitchers, it takes them a couple innings to settle in, to really find their groove, but Rosado, like no other.
He's going to punch out Caden Cardoso. Sits him down. That's back-to-back strikeouts for the Dominican pitcher. As Warner De Olio steps up now, but that was tough for Caden Cardoso. A little bit ambiguous to see if that was a strike on the outside corner. A fastball got under control that time, and it was just a laser. Cardoso strikes out looking.
Cardoso standing there, almost willing that pitch to be a ball, waiting for Jeff Rose to not call him out, but alas, that just wasn't the case. But that is going to bring up catcher Eduardo De Olio.
De Olio batting .429 with 9 hits in the 2024 playoffs. He'll take this one inside for a strike, and the fans letting their displeasure be known to the umpire.
De Olio already with a home run and 2 RBIs in this postseason. Had 5 and 31 of those, respectively, in the regular season as well. He's just become an integral part of this Majors organization, someone that they're going to want to lock up for years to come.
It's another all-star player. Plenty of all-stars in action in this series. As that one is outside, the count is 1-1.
Now, we mentioned the control, the technical abilities of Cesar Rosado. I'd like to call to attention Tyler Plumpton doing a great job tonight of blocking and framing those pitches.
De Olio's going to smack one over to Brandon Hernandez. It looks like the throw will be in time, and by quite a bit, getting out De Olio. So the Majors are retired in order. 2 strikeouts already from Cesar Rosado, and things are all square, 0-0 at Labatt Memorial Park at the end of the first. We'll be back shortly with the second. You're watching Majors TV.
Hello, my name is Jim Nuther with Nuther's The Award Store. Come along with me on a virtual tour to take a look at our amazing products and services that we're able to provide to you to help you with your recreation needs.
When you need a night out, Throw London is on point. With an atmosphere that's a cut above, Throw London brings together the best in knife throwing, axe throwing, and darts. So it's the perfect spot for a date night, night out with friends, leagues, and team building for the office. You've got to be 13 or older to throw pointy objects and 19 plus to enjoy their fully licensed offerings. It's the best spot in London for some fun with an edge. London's original knife throwing. Check them out at 2190 Dundas Street East and online at ithrow.ca. That's ITHROW.ca.
Folks, inside Labatt Park here in downtown London, the Barrie Baycats and the London Majors. Baycats leading the series 1-0 in the 2024 semifinals of the Intercounty Baseball League playoffs, and it's 0-0 through the first. On to the second now, and still on the mound for the Majors, the big 6'5" Dominican, number 55, Victor Payano. Decently strong first outing for him. Did not allow any runs. The furthest anyone got was Brandon Hernandez reaching second off the advancement of Malik Williams. And now we're getting towards the back half of their order. Stepping up first will be Nolan Macabrona, playing left field today. I want to ask you, Josh, how have you seen these two pitchers tonight starting off?
I think they're so even in practically everything they do. Great control, great technical ability to read the zone. They like to really pound those fastballs inside, but both of them, I mean, batters got to watch out for the curveballs, the sliders, the ones that get away at the last moment and get called for strikes and strikeouts. These are two dangerous Dominicans on the mound tonight.
We love that alliteration up here, don't we? Macabrona batting .222 in 18 at-bats in the 2024 playoffs. He's going to foul one to the left side of the bleachers. Payano, his pitch count is in the 20s. And we'll keep an eye on that all night for you. Very good job. Obviously one of the big reasons for this high pitch count early on. Malik Williams had a fantastic at-bat. And Macabrona showing more of the same, just keeps fouling off balls, but it is 0-2 now. Victor Payano looking for his first strikeout of the evening.
After Macabrona will be right fielder Hayden Jaco and third baseman Adam Odd. At the very least, those are the batters that we will see here in the top of the second. But Payano, he's focusing on the present. Macabrona gets him swinging. His first punch out of the night. Really fantastic stuff there from Payano.
A beautiful toss from Payano on a breaking ball, as you mentioned, Josh. He's trying to throw a lot in his arsenal towards the plate, not just his really good fastballs, and that breaking ball did get the better of Macabrona. It's his first strikeout of the evening for Victor Payano. It was a perfect toss.
Now talk about a colossal clash, a clash of the Titans, if you will. Hayden Jaco, the two-time All-Star and IBL Rookie of the Year here in London. He's going to drop that one down for a bunt.
Jaco on the bunt attempt. It's going to be a perfectly placed one in between Payano and Eduardo De Olio, and trots his way over to first. So a perfectly placed bunt from Hayden Jaco. He will reach first. A single for him, as well as Hernandez also getting on base so far. For the Baycats, now it's just time to add on to that. And they've had no problem this season with offense, as we mentioned, one of the best teams offensively in the playoffs so far. They have scored 14 or more in 2 of their playoff games already, and 8 runs in 4 of their last 6 games. Absolutely ridiculous. On a 6-game win streak.
Including the playoffs.
Including the end of the regular season and the playoffs. So they have been just on fire, trying to add to that now. And Payano's definitely got a lot on his plate. Adam Odd playing third today. Checks in for the first time this evening. Fastball outside, perfectly placed, and it's 0-1.
Now it seems to me that the Barrie Baycats, they know that it's the playoffs. They know it's time to crank things up to 11. In the regular season, they only scored 239 runs. That sounds like a lot, but that's only good for 7th highest in a 9-team league. You would expect more from the Baycats based on their performances these last few games. Of course, sweeping Toronto, outscoring them 36-20. I mean, they really have turned up here in the playoffs. It's almost like they were, for lack of a better term, coasting towards the end. They knew they had it locked in, took some time to rest, and now they're coming back bigger, better, and meaner than ever.
Payano with a pretty toss on the outside that broke nicely. Adjacent to Adam Odd. This one upstairs, it's going to be called for strike 3, and Victor Payano punches out another one. Bit of a delayed reaction from the home plate umpire there, but nonetheless, Payano will take it. 2 strikeouts to his name and 2 outs for the Majors and the top of the second.
Adam Ott is glancing back at Jeff Rose. He was mumbling something under his breath, his frustration evident there. And you're right, Ty, it was a delayed call, but it was a good call nonetheless. And Jeff Rose and company have been calling a very fair game, a consistent game for both sides so far. Nothing to complain about, in my humble opinion.
Now up steps Royce Ando, batting 8th in the order today. First pitch against him is another strike from Payano, a fastball. Seems to be liking these fastballs to the outside of players. Played that to Adam Ott, and now against Ando. Ando's had a pretty good postseason so far, batting .385. Payano fastball. DeOlio's going to try to pick his man off. He got him! Eduardo DeOlio's been doing that all season long. Turns around like he's done it a million times before, and Cardoso swiped down the tag on Hayden Jaco. The Majors retire the side off prolific defense from the all-star catcher, Eduardo DeOlio.
DeOlio, simply put, he has a cannon of an arm. I saw that firsthand when the Majors came through to David E. Hastings Stadium out in Guelph a couple times this season, and it was just such a showdown to watch. Franklin Torres, Joseph Del Rosario against DeOlio. It was simply a battle of the arms, and wow, just a sight to behold. I mean, hey, if it gets to it, the Majors need an extra pitcher on the mound tonight. My first vote would be for DeOlio. The way he threw that thing, simply a thing of beauty.
DeOlio looking well so far. Now let's take a look, as we always do, at this week's installment of Roop's Report with our very own Justin Kohler.
So I'm here with co-owner and general manager Roop Chandridat. Roop, I know what your answer is going to be, but how's the day so far?
Great day at Labatt Park. Sun's out. Long weekend. We're playing in front of our fans. So excited about tonight's game.
Should be a lot of fun. Really excited to watch myself. And so the Baycats, just to get right into it, have been phenomenal so far in the playoffs this year in particular. What are some of the main aspects from their game that you've been seeing lately that you're paying attention to in this series?
First and foremost, they're a well-rounded team. They do a lot of good things. Offensively, they can run, they can hit, they can move runners over, they play good defense, and their pitching is phenomenal, So I say they're just an all well-rounded team, and those are teams that win in the playoffs.
And so kind of taking that exact thought and looking a bit at the Majors now, the Majors are down 1-0 in the series to get things going. Still lots of life left in the series, but what are you needing to see improve as the series continues?
Timely hitting. Last game we're at first and third, 2-0 game, none outs, and, we could only push one run across. We managed to push 2 across. It's a different ball game. So timely hitting, and, we made some big errors, crucial times. So, tighten up our defense and get some timely hitting.
Makes a lot of sense. Kind of one of the messages that we've talked about throughout the course of the season. So hopefully it all comes together right now and it pays off throughout this game and the series. Best of luck in today's game. And let's send it back up to the Game Day Lennon press box to continue with the rest of the game.
We just got a hit from Byron Reichstein. Now into the heart of the Majors order. This one is going to be bobbled by Royce Ando. Almost will certainly be ruled as an error. But nonetheless, a hard-hit ball, bouncing and too difficult to handle for Royce Ando, earns Byron Reichstein a spot at first base. Following him now is Starling Joseph. He's been a star man all season long, fan favorite here around Labatt Memorial Park. Let's take a quick peek at outside the grounds tonight in the other semifinal. The Guelph Royals off to a commanding lead, 3-0 over the Welland Jackfish in Welland this evening, and have already knocked out their starting pitcher. We'll keep an eye on that game all throughout the evening for you.
Yeah, Brandon Underhill, who has been the undisputed ace of the Jackfish all season long, already out of the game in the first inning after giving up 3.
Joseph with a bunt attempt there. Saw Reichstein with the generous lead trying to make his way over to second, but all will reset back to square one. We saw a gorgeous bunt from Hayden Jaco. Got himself on first base, but unfortunately Eduardo DeOlio just too tricky. The perfect throw and pickoff from him over to Caden Cardoso to retire the side last time. In the first inning, the Majors were sat down in order, and Rosado recorded 2 strikeouts. This slider carrying outside and away. Does not draw a swing from Starling Joseph, but had good movement on it nonetheless.
Joseph just 26 years old in his third year with the London Majors. 5 home runs, 27 RBIs, 4 doubles in the regular season, all amounting to a .264 batting average. And he is looking to add on to some of his playoff stats, 1 RBI already.
This toss from Rosado, fastball low and away, will draw a big swing from from Starling Joseph. Count now at 1-2. Rosado looking for his 3rd strikeout already of the evening. And over at first for the Majors, remaining is Byron Reichstein. Trying to get a player in scoring position for the first time this evening.
Reichstein, not someone you'd expect to have a lot of speed, but similar to Brandon Hernandez, where he's got the wheels, people just really underestimate them. Someone that, not to the extent of a Brandon Hernandez, but someone that Rosado and the Baycats really got to keep an eye on. Reichstein, just 31 years old, but still runs like he's 21. Got a lot of heart and spirit still left in him.
The count 1-2. Rosado's toss. A beautiful breaking ball is going to be hammered right up to the second base bag. Gets Byron Reichstein to second, and it will be a single for Starling Joseph. The Majors, no outs in the bottom of the second, and they have 2 men on base. Looking dangerous so far as the designated hitter Cleveland Brownlee steps in for the first time tonight. The Majors' problem all throughout the postseason so far really has been scoring runs, apart from one game where they put up 10 here at a home game against the Hamilton Cardinals to go up 2-1 in the series. Other than that, it's been fairly low scoring for them. They have a chance to change that now, and it'd be good to get things going early. Cleveland Brownlee has a big opportunity here.
And a big reception from the home crowd here at Labatt Park. Cleveland Brownlee, a legend of the Majors organization, 14 seasons with them, getting the love that he very much deserves.
Cleve is going to poke one. It's going to get right past Rosado. A parachuting play. What a gorgeous flip, though, I might add, by Brandon Hernandez, screeching all the way across the field to get Cleve out at first base. That was not an easy play whatsoever. Diving, didn't even pick it up with his hand, just kind of scooped it over towards Malik Williams at first. But nonetheless, a parachuting bunt from Cleveland Brownlee advances both runners. Reichstein on third, Starling Joseph on second. The Majors have 2 in scoring position.
And still just 1 out, and with that bunt, it really looked like it was going to fall right into the glove of Cesar Rosado. But alas, that was not what happened. Cleveland Brownlee, he's been around the block a time or two. He knows exactly what to do in situations like these. Placed that bunt perfectly. Parachuting, as you so perfectly said, Ty. Brandon Hernandez with the lob to get Brownlee out. So, like I mentioned, still just 1 out, but now runners at second and third.
And now Victor Plaz for the Majors with a big opportunity. Fastball upstairs from Rosado is too high for ball 1. Might I add, once again, what a fantastic defensive effort that was from Brandon Hernandez. Heads up baseball, made his way all the way over to the second baseman's areas, actually. Royce Ando's area. Took over that territory and flipped the ball with his glove on a diving attempt over to Malik Williams to prevent the bases from being loaded right now. Victor Plaz takes a big swing at this one, trying to carry it back into left field, but it will go for a strike count at 1 apiece.
This postseason, Plaz has really found his element. 300 batting average, 3 RBIs, 1 home run, 1 double, and has come around to score twice. He's been an important player for the London Majors, and last season was a key part of the Barrie Baycats' deep playoff run.
See if he can add that for the Majors this season. This ball is outside. Count it 2-1 now. Victor Plaz, a very, very strong third baseman for the Majors. Made so many fantastic plays this year defensively. And he's also had his big offensive moments when they've been presented to him. Perhaps the biggest of the season for him is right now. Plaz awaits the toss from Rosado. This one outside. Looked like it could have been close, but a good eye in the end from Victor Plaz will let it carry. And the ball four chants officially start raining down from the Majors faithful. We've been waiting to hear that.
Gotta say, just 2 innings in, and I'm already loving the atmosphere here at Labatt Park. And the fans are in full force tonight, in full voice as well.
The 3-1 from Rosado. Trying not to load the bases. The anticipation will be set back only for a moment as Plaz will take a second for himself. Reminder, Reichstein still over on third. Starling Joseph on second. And it's all up to Victor Plaz. The 3-1 from Rosado. Swung on by Victor Plaz. It appears that if he left that, it might have been outside from this angle. Potentially could have walked, but so hard in these high-stakes moments, he's going to take a big hack at it. Count moves to full.
With the 3-1 count, you got to take a swing at it. Even if it does look rough, even if it looks outside, you just got to go for it. With runners in scoring position in a key situation, you've just got to go.
The full count to Victor Plaz. Swings at it, gonna be caught in the end though. The glove of Tyler Plumpton. Appears that he might have got a tick on it, but it will amount to nothing considering Plumpton got his glove under it. And just like that, the Majors have another one retired. 2 outs, but they still have 2 men on.
That's going to bring up the shortstop, Ty Mosher, the Dutton, Ontario native, just 22 years old, a switch hitter. And so far this postseason, batting .308, 4 hits in 5 games, 1 run, 1 RBI, and 1 stolen base for him. Had 5 RBIs and 13 walks in the regular season. He's a patient hitter in the vein of an Ethan Hammond from the Guelph Royals.
This ball is well outside. Fastball carrying from Rosado. We've seen a couple of those now from him during this game. Trying to get it under control, but when he does, it's a bullet. And another big opportunity for a Major at the bottom of the order. Ty Mosher, as you mentioned. Hitting .308 in these playoffs. And he's playing shortstop today. The 1-0 toss is low and inside. 2-0 now. Now, obviously, Rosado has to be careful here. Potential to load the bases if his pitches do not proceed with caution. On the flip side, Mosher needs to maintain that plate discipline.
Rosado has been so effective, so technical with placing his pitches, especially on the inside, but he almost seems nervous now, a little thrown off his game as he gets set to deliver the 2-0.
2-0 from Rosado. Fastball on the outside corner, paints it, and beautifully so. Finally got it under control. Count moves to 2-1, still in favor of Ty Mosher. Majors do not want to leave this inning with nothing to show for it, considering they have 2 men in scoring position. The 2-1 from Rosado. Inside fastball. It is 2-2 now. Another strike called. Ty Mosher watched that the whole way through.
This is something I noticed last night calling the game with Mark Perry. Guelph Royals against the Welland Jackfish. The Royals had so many missed opportunities, 5 innings where they left 2 or more runners on base, and they lost that game. This is something the Majors have to take advantage of, a golden opportunity, if you will.
The 2-2 to Ty Mosher. Fastball swung on and retiring the side is Cesar Rosado. The Majors come up with another goose egg in the second off prolific pitching. Got himself in a sticky situation but pulled himself out. Ball game still at 0 as we head into the third. You're watching Majors TV with Ty White and Josh Alderman.
If there's guys on base, I'm trying to create the situation in my head. Corey Hunter taught me that. Create it in your mind, where you're throwing the ball, what you're doing in this situation. When it happens, you're just reacting. Defense, you can always make a play. You always have an opportunity. You never know what ball's going to get hit to you. It's always a good feeling when you're running down balls for your pitcher. You look forward to running balls and robbing home runs. Nothing more satisfying than making a dive play or a big play.
Get suited up with us for our big night. We went to Collins Clothiers. They had suits and tuxedos in various colors and styles. The staff helped us pick exactly what we wanted. They custom fit our suits for the perfect fit. They even matched us to our date's dress. It was so much fun trying on suits with the boys on the VIP night. They even got us pizza while we tried clothes on.
For prom kids, of course, are going to be the best dressed.
We felt so confident and looked amazing.
Welcome back, folks, inside Labatt Memorial Park. This game has been very much a pitcher's duel through the first two. Victor Payano and Cesar Rosado trading blows. And 2 goose eggs on the scoreboard right now. It's 0-0. The top of the third, we're going to see the Baycats roster check back in. I believe it'll still be Royce Ando, number 7, after the beautiful pickoff play defensively from Eduardo De Olio over to Caden Cardoso to record the third out of the top of the second for the Majors. So Royce Ando remaining at the plate right now, and Payano trying to pick up where he left off. Has been great so far through the first two, and showing the Baycats why he's been the Majors ace thus far, but he still has a lot of work to do in this one.
And because Ando, that at-bat was interrupted, the count will be reset. 0-0, a fresh start and a fresh at-bat for Ando.
Breaking ball perfectly in the middle, it looked like. Great placement from Payano. Didn't even require a swing from Ando. Ando down 0-1. This toss from Payano. Fastball in the exact same location, except a lot more mustard behind that one. 0-2 now. Beautiful pitch from Payano there.
And just looking at Payano's pitch count, now up to 33. 27 of them have been strikes. He is on fire tonight.
This one down the middle. 3 strikes on 3 pitches, and sits down Royce Ando. What a fantastic 3 tosses there from Payano, his 3rd strikeout of the evening.
Ando, just like Adam Odd, a couple players before him, couple batters, pardon me, showing visible frustration on his way back to the dugout, mumbling some not family-friendly words as he heads back to the Baycats dugout.
Now at the bottom of the order, a native of Peterborough, Ontario, Tyler Plumpton spent some time with the Newmarket Hawks senior team back in 2019 and has been a part of the IBL since 2015.
In his 6th year with the Barrie Baycats, has just been a staple of their lineup since time eternal. And he's going to take that one inside. A good take, in my opinion, but...
Yeah, it did look like that one was certainly close. Payano almost backed him up off the plate, but nonetheless the umpire will call it for a strike.
Payano just so good at painting the corners. He likes to go inside, no matter left or right the batters. He goes inside down low with those breaking balls and has worked it to perfection.
The 1-1 is swung on and chopped out to Ty Mosher. Bouncing ball is controlled over to first to Cardoso. And an easy play, pretty routine there for the Majors. A ground out for Ty Plumpton.
And if you're the Barrie Baycats, this has got to be concerning. The offense has been stagnant. They have not done very much of note. Only 2 hits in the game so far. Of course, the most prolific being Brandon Hernandez with the single and then advancing up to second only in the 1st inning. And ever since then, it has been very quiet on the Barrie front.
Canacey Joe back to the top of the order now for the Baycats. Leading man, batting 176. For Barrie, he is extremely quick, though. He's been a fantastic leadoff hitter all season and trying to get back into the swing of things in the second round now of the playoffs. You mentioned the Baycats are undefeated in the playoffs thus far. Perfect 4 of 4. And a beautiful breaking ball there from Payano. A little bit too far outside, though, for the umpire's liking.
I just tried to get Ijo to bite, but Canese was not taking the bait. There's a reason he was an all-star just a season ago. Great plate discipline, and he knows what pitches he wants this season. In the regular season, 363 batting average, 28 RBIs, 5 home runs, and 3 triples.
This toss from Payano. Big fastball requires a big swing. And it'll be for a strike, though. Count it 2-1 now. And the Majors still have 2 outs.
Kenise Ijo has come around to score 6 times, so he's got no shortage of wheels, but only 3 hits across 4 games. He's looking to break out of a slump.
Another big swing from Ijo. Off a hard toss there from Victor Payano. Count even at 2 apiece. 2 outs. And Payano looking for his 4th strikeout of the evening.
If not the strikeout, perhaps a repeat of Ijo's first at-bat when he flew out to Gibson Krasminski. Anything will do at this stage of the game.
Payano winds up. Fastball is high and outside to the right of the plate. If you have the view of Eduardo De Olio. Way too high. Didn't draw a swing there, and good patience and poise from Ijo. Count is full. The 3-2 from Payano is going to be chopped off in a dribbler over to the direction of Victor Plaz, keeping himself alive.
Something I've seen during this game is De Olio and Tyler Plumpton, his counterpart on the Baycats side. They are so similar in the way that they're doing just a fantastic job of blocking, and going back, looking at previous games of these two teams, the framing has just been next level.
Full count again, and another one blasted off. This time far to the right stanchions from Ijo. Carrying well foul, now the 6th or 7th ball that's been hit in that direction. Count remains. And 2 outs. Majors trying to retire the side in order. The toss from Payano, swung on again, but this one will be belted up in between Cardoso and Osika. Safely at first is Kenise Ijo, and a fantastic at-bat on his part, keeping himself alive and earning himself a spot at first.
Tristan Osika, try as he might, just couldn't get to that ball in time, and like you mentioned, split Cardoso and Osika right up the middle. Ijo threading the needle. And he did his job, just like Malik Williams in the first inning, just running up the count. The sooner they can get Payano out of this one, the better. But as we saw last night between the Royals and the Welland Jackfish, both starting pitchers going past the century mark, up into the 110s.
Back up now, the MVP of the playoffs thus far, the native of Montreal, Quebec, number 11, Brandon Hernandez, who's been nothing short of spectacular. We mentioned 12 hits, 6 runs, 12 RBIs. The only thing he hasn't done, just not known for, is hitting a deep ball. As This bat is going to fly off his fingers, way behind carrying. That's the reason there's netting there, folks, just in case. So thank goodness everyone was all right, because that was a steaming hot bat off his hands.
I'm glad everyone's all right, because that could have done some damage. Hernandez really took a big hack at that one. Now it looks like he's going to go try and find another bat to replace the one that he threw almost like a frisbee away.
He did throw away the bat, and he has a new set of gloves now. Gloves might have slipped or tripped on him. He replaces those. He'll make his way back out, but nonetheless, he is a terrific player. The Majors have to be careful. Payano, interesting to see how he deals with him now for the second time of the evening. Obviously, he did single out Hernandez in his first. Looking to go 2 for 2 on the day.
Hernandez in the regular season had 30 hits, 5 doubles, 14 RBIs, came across to score 12 runs. He's got wheels, he's got athleticism, he's got power for days, and he is that next level threat that the Majors really, really have to be careful of tonight.
Not to mention that was all in the month of August, considering he was a late addition to the Baycats roster, so you can only imagine if he had been here all season long. Spent some time in the Frontier League, came directly from there over at Trois-Rivières. Payano, 2-1, he'll throw it back. Slow throw, just keeping Kenise Ijo honest over at first. As the outside LEDs pop up, a little bit prematurely though. Still pretty light out.
Yeah, no clouds in the sky. A pristine night for baseball, as you mentioned off the top of the broadcast. Just a beautiful night, a beautiful game.
Perfect, calm, and the energy building. This ball outside to the chagrin of the Majors faithful. Looked to certainly be potentially a strike, but Jeff Rose has other ideas.
Yeah, despite the crowd not liking most of the calls, the umpiring crew has called a very fair game, very consistent for both sides.
And that's really the goal of the umpires, not necessarily, obviously the strike zone can be expanded sometimes, but it's how fairly you and consistently you call where that strike zone is located. As this one a little bit more inside from Payano will be called for a strike. So the count full at 3-2. Canisijo still at first, and the Majors still have 2 outs. Payano's toss. Ijo making the run. Will have to come back in the end as it was fouled off by Hernandez.
Payano does have extensive experience in affiliated ball. Spent 12 years in the organizations of the Texas Rangers, Cincinnati Reds, and Miami Marlins from 2010 to 2019. He knows his way around the baseball. Spent some time in Nicaragua and the Dominican as well. He's honed his craft.
Another full count from Payano is going to be swung on. That ball making its way over to Victor Plaz, but had a bouncing threat outside, way far outside, and foul. Count remains at full.
Payano, the highest he got in both, well, any of those organizations, Texas and Cincinnati especially, was AAA. 6 wins, 4.47 ERA, 79 strikeouts. That has been his bread and butter ever since coming to the IBL. 90 in the regular season and looking for one more right here.
Trying to get his 4th of the evening. Payano's toss gets the 4th. Sitting down, Brandon Hernandez. Payano gets the best of the best in the IBL right now. And the Majors finally retire the side off a bit of worrying at bat there from Brandon Hernandez. Leaves Ijo on at first. Great job from Victor Payano to recover there. And the Majors keep things at 0 through the first 3. They're going to look to try to add on to their offense now. Obviously, we've talked about how incredible the Barrie Baycats have been in this 2024 season offensively. And for more information on that, we're going to throw it down to Justin Kohler.
Gentlemen, we talked about it back when the Cardinals were in town, so it's obviously something that we have to do with the Baycats here as well, and that's looking at some of the stats and looking at some of the numbers. Back when we talked about Hamilton when they were here, the Majors and the Cardinals were actually pretty similar on quite a few categories in terms of pitching and hitting, but the Majors did come out on top in a couple different areas. With the Baycats, though, it's a bit of a different story, to say the least. All said and done, and to put it pretty plainly, they have been incredibly dominant so far in the playoffs so far, even beating out the number 1 rated Welland Jackfish in quite a few categories. On paper, at the end of the day, so far in the playoffs, the Baycats lead in home runs, in OBP, in doubles, in slugging, in OPS, and in average as a whole, batting .375 collectively as a team, which is an incredibly impressive feat when you're combining a whole team's numbers into one stat. And looking at London's numbers, it paints a bit of a tougher picture. And to be completely blunt, the Majors really need to improve on a lot of hitting categories because they don't just sit below the Baycats in quite a few numbers, but also in terms of all the other teams left in the playoffs right now. Good luck. You're doing great, Rope. And so at the end of the day, it's not a recipe for success. And one of the things I actually talked to Rube about was their struggles in terms of hitting with runners in scoring position, and we saw it earlier in this game. At the end of the day, the Majors have a lot of potential, a lot of talent, and can do really well when they put it all together. But at the end of the day, in baseball, in the sport that we love, it all comes down to who the winner is. That's who gets remembered. And so let's send it back up to the Game Day London press box. And gentlemen, the Baycats have been dominant.
Thanks so much for that, Justin. They really have the best hitting teams in the Honor County Baseball League and definitely into the playoffs. And like you said, Justin, the Majors have struggled offensively. They have to clean that up tonight. Victor Payano's been holding off this side so far, but he can't do that forever. Tristan Osika and company trying to change that now. At the bottom of the order for the Majors, Rosado still on the mound. Low fastball is called for a strike. Count at 1-1. Tristan Osika hitting .375 through 8 at-bats in the 2024 playoffs.
Rosado now up to 33 pitches. 21 of them have been strikes. Really excellent stuff from both of these pitchers, as we expected. A real duel. I mean, we thought Keys and Garces was going to be the matchup of the aces. Unbeknownst to us, it's these two right here, Rosado and Payano, putting on a clinic tonight at Labatt Park.
And that first one between Garces and Keys in Game 1 was a pitching duel up until the 7th, as we talked about. As that pitch required a swing from Tristan Osika. He'll be even now, 2-2 in the count. But we've seen a good pitching matchup for the first two games. Let's see who's going to break first, though. Rosado's toss. Fastball, low and outside. Called for strike 3. Another delayed reaction from umpire Rose. And it's going to be the 5th strikeout of the evening for Cesar Rosado.
If nothing else, Rose is adding to the excitement and the tension here at Labatt Park. The fans may not be liking the calls that he's been making. They have been fair. But he's really adding to the moment, and that may be throwing off hitters a little bit. You can see them trying to sell it as a ball, like getting set to bat again, but
just increasing the drama, drawing it out a little bit. And you're right, the crowd is, everyone's very eagerly awaiting the decision of Rose. As the Majors return to the top of the order now, Gibson Kresminski, 0 for 1 on the day, struck out in his first. Rosado's fastball well outside for 1-0.
We do have an out-of-town scoreboard update for you out at the pond in Welland. The Guelph Royals in the top of the second inning, thanks to a Franklin Torres single, now up their lead to 4-0 on the defending Domenico Cup champs, one that you want to keep an eye on after this game is finished. Or if you're a real IBL fan like Mark Perry and I discussed last night, you're double screening both games right now. You're watching it all.
You're NFL red zoning these playoff series. Speaking of which, football's coming back very soon. Less than a week on Thursday night. The opening game, I believe, between Baltimore and Kansas City.
And if I'm not mistaken, Western right here at London kicked off their season this weekend.
They did. OUA football back in action as this fastball is swung on by Gibson Kresminski, nice and high. A decent location for a swing, but it was just too fast for him. Count at 2-1.
Just one out here in the bottom of the third. Still time for the Majors to get a couple runners on board and really try and run Rosado's pitch count up here.
Kresminski will slap one in the direction of Royce Ando. A bouncing ball. Doesn't have too much zip on it. But Ando can't handle it. Flipped it over to first, and just like that, the Majors are 2 down in the bottom of the third.
But that's going to bring up Hayden Cardoso. We mentioned in the matchup between Hayden, Jaco, and Payano, but this is a clash of titanic proportions, a clash of the Titans. Hayden Cardoso, the unanimous pick for Rookie of the Year, facing off against the dominant Rosado. This is one that you really want to watch intently.
One of the best pitchers of the year against one of the best hitters of the year, up for the second time. Rosado got the better of him in his first at-bat, striking out Cardoso. Cardoso's going to foul this one off a quick chop that bounces awkwardly. You have to be careful there in those first few rows, but it'll be caught by a fan in the end.
There you go. That's something you love to see. A Majors fan who caught the ball, tossing it over to a couple kids in the crowd who have just the biggest smiles on their faces. Now they're debating who gets possession of the ball. Great crowd here tonight at Labatt Park. They are out in full force and are in full voice. We've heard chants almost willing their team on to victory.
It's been a great crowd like all season long here at Labatt Park as this one goes sailing over the glove of Tyler Plumpton. Cardoso's going to grab some dirt, reset a little bit. As we mentioned, Rosado in their first meeting against Cardoso got the better of him with a strikeout. Cardoso's had a little bit of trouble so far in the playoffs, striking out 6 times. That's tied for most of anyone on the Majors offense.
But on the flip side, 2 RBIs, 6 hits in 5 games, 2 stolen bases, and has come around to score 3 times. So while the fastball may not be playing for him, everything else has been in his wheelhouse.
Just waiting for his pitch patiently. Not afraid to strike out a few times, as you inferred there, Josh. Cardoso will not care as long as he gets his team on the scoreboard. Trying to get on base for the first time this evening. Count at 2-1, still 2 outs for the Baycats in the bottom of the third.
A hush falls over Labatt Park as they await this next pitch.
The toss from Rosado, more inside this time. Cardoso takes a fair swing at that one and fouls it off to the left again. Count at 2-2.
Cardoso doing an excellent job, like Krasminski before him, and even looking back to Ty Mosher, Tristan Osika, 2 guys that started to run up the count, started to have longer and longer at-bats, and now Caden Cardoso picking up where they left off.
This ball well outside, carrying Cardoso, didn't even bother with it. Full count with 2 outs. Potentially another strikeout for Rosado, if he is able to do so, would be his 6th of the evening. Cardoso doesn't want to let that happen. Waiting patiently. Rosado's throw inside and caught again from Tyler Plumpton. Beautiful placement on that pitch. Just almost touched the stomach of Caden Cardoso and fell into the glove of Tyler Plumpton. It's zeros again on the board through the first 3 here at Labatt Memorial Park. Don't go anywhere. You're watching MajorsTV. 4th inning action when we come back. Welcome back, folks. The annual run around the bases here every game at Labatt Park. And it's time for our weekly sports update around the world, checking in on some things that have happened around the world, professional and amateur sports. NCAA college football is back this past weekend. Some of the notable games: Georgia took down Clemson, the number 1 team, beating the number 14th ranked team. College game day this week for ESPN was down in College Station, Texas, for the A&M Aggies taking on the University of Notre Dame. The Fighting Irish came on top 23-13, as well as wins collected by Alabama, Texas, Penn State, Tennessee, Ohio State, Ole Miss, and Miami. USC will play LSU tonight in Las Vegas. That one getting underway in about 20 minutes. For the MLB, all teams in action tonight. The Blue Jays took a tough loss to the Minnesota Twins, 4-3 in that one. And the Tigers were host to the Red Sox. They won 4-1 this evening. The English Premier League, Chelsea tied Crystal Palace today 1-1. Newcastle United beating Tottenham 2-1. A good upset there on a rising team in the last several years, Newcastle. Liverpool beating Man United 3-0 in a big clash. And that is seeming to be pretty typical now for the Premier League. The U.S. Open, both Djokovic and Alcaraz are out. The 2 Wimbledon finalists not going any further. The second round is taking on a place right now. And the PGA Tour was today. Tour Championship in Atlanta, Georgia was won. $25 million to Scotty Scheffler. And finally here at MajorsTV, we'd like to do a small tribute and pay our respects to the Goudreau family. Obviously, a terrible and tragic incident coming out Thursday night in New Jersey. A drunk driver took the lives of both Matthew and Johnny Goudreau while they were biking out in their hometown. Just a terrible, terrible sequence of events. Rest in peace to both of those terrific hockey players, and our thoughts and prayers are with the Goudreau family, Columbus organization, and all fans of Johnny Goudreau right now. As for inside the ballpark, scores are still at 0. Victor Payano still on the mound, and Malik Williams, the player who gave him the toughest at-bat of the evening so far, checks back in. This toss for a strike right away from Payano. 0-1.
Williams, his first time up, grounded out to first, and as you mentioned, Ty, ran up the pitch count of Payano his first time up, foul after foul into those right field bleachers and grass section out there. A good take on his part there, now evening the count up at 1-1.
Malik Williams grounded out in his first at bat. This toss from Payano requires a heavy hit, again carrying back into the right field stanchions. Count at 1-2. Payano definitely wants to shorten up this at bat against Malik Williams.
Payano already up to 55 pitches, but in some miraculous fashion, 40 of them have been strikes. He has just been on his game tonight.
Another fastball and another hack off towards the right side of the bleachers again. Seeing a bit of a pattern here between these two. Let's see if Malik Williams is going to change it up inside, perhaps. Excuse me, if Payano's going to change it up inside. This one is inside, but too far towards the body of Williams. It's going to be a ball. Count it to apiece.
Well, this is just a battle that you expected to be good. One of the best pitchers in the IBL against one of the best contact hitters in the IBL. Williams knows the zone oh so well. A couple of years into his tenure in the IBL, but not this time.
Payano gets the better of him there, striking him out inside. And that is Payano's fourth of the evening. He's been doing so well so far. Excuse me, his fifth strikeout of the evening. And that puts him level even with Cesar Rosado at 5 apiece. 5 strikeouts for each Dominican pitcher this evening, and Ryan Rijo checks back in. He flew out to short center in his last at bat.
Rijo, a 7-year vet of the Barrie Baycats, was a first-team All-Star that season, and he's going to take that one just a bit outside. 0-1 the count.
Payano painted that corner low and away against Rijo.
Rijo, so far this postseason, 6 hits, looking for more here.
He's going to smoke one on the ground. A bouncing ball, reminiscent of a skipping stone, made its way all the way down to the deep left field stands. Carried quite far. Too bad he couldn't keep that one fair to Victor Plaz. Count at 0-2. Payano looking for another strikeout. He got it upstairs. Ryan Rijo took a hack at that one, but it was just too hot to handle. Number 6 for Victor Payano.
Wow, what an outing. I'm really at a loss for words tonight. We knew the matchup between Payano and Rosado would be good, but I don't think anyone was expecting it to be this good. 2 Dominican pitchers at the top of their games, in the prime of their careers, throwing their very best stuff in a game that is really must win for either side to take momentum, take control of this series.
That's 3 strikeouts in a row for Victor Payano, and another strike there as that ball more softly reached home plate that time and into the glove of DeOlio. Nolan Macabroda back out in the batter's box. He struck out in his last at bat. Takes a hack at this one, though. It's going to carry into deep, deep, deep center field, and you can kiss it goodbye. Nolan Macabroda silences the crowd and the Barrie Baycats lead 1-0 off a solo homer.
And a hush, a quiet has fallen over Labatt Memorial Park. And of course, you know, the infamous IBL announcer's curse rearing its ugly head as soon as we start talking about what a fantastic outing Payano has had. Just a poor pitch there, poor selection from a guy who's just been so efficient and so ruthless. Velocity and ferocity tonight from Payano, but left that one hanging just a little too long. Machiabroda made him pay his second home run and 7th RBI of the playoffs so far.
He timed that one absolutely perfectly, Machiabroda, no doubt about it. You can tell by Gibson Krasminski and Byron Reichstein's reaction in the outfield that it was pretty safely gone. And a long hit ball down towards the Labatt Memorial Park scoreboard. So first blood to Barrie, and Hayden Jaco's going to slap one into center field. Drops in front of Krasminski. He reaches first, so Payano was rock solid, starting to get a little bit shaky now here. Majors do have 2 outs to their name, though.
Hayden Jaco got a warm reception his first time up, was an all-star, and got Rookie of the Year honors in 2021 with the London Majors. But now, second at bat, that reception has grown cold.
It has. He's 2 for 2 on the day, both singles. Adamant stepping back in. He struck out in his last. Payano still with some work to do. This ball drops a little bit too late for ball 1.
Adamant, just 29 years old, picked up his first All-Star honors last season. His 7th year in the IBL, 3rd with the Barrie Baycats.
Payano's toss is belted, a ball that dribbled right by the hand of Tristan Osika. 2 on now for Barrie. And the Majors have really let this one blow right open past them. They have to be careful here. Barrie showing us why they're one of the most dangerous offenses in all the IBL. After that solar home run from Nolan Machiabroda, they have 2 on after back-to-back singles from Jaco and Adamant.
And it looks like we're going to get a mound visit here. They're not taking Payano out of the game yet. A smart decision, in my opinion. But just trying to settle him down, get him calmed down, as it seems the nerves and the mind games have finally gotten through past the steely exterior of the Dominican.
It'd be worth noting that we have not seen any action in either of the respective bullpens tonight. Brent Wales just talking things over with Payano. She mentioned just a calm-down visit for him. He's proven to himself and all of his Majors side that he can get things under control. The question is, can he keep them under control? Barrie has 6 hits already through the first 4.
And now that we have a small break in the action, we would like to mention on behalf of the London Majors organization, please subscribe to our YouTube channel, MajorsTV, the one and only place, well, not really, but the only place you can catch
for
these,
home Majors baseball.
Home Majors baseball. You can watch these games live. Please subscribe.
We thank you, folks, for tuning in this evening. Beautiful playoff baseball underway. It could potentially be the last Majors home game of 2023-24 season. Excuse me, of just in general, the 2024 season. If they're not able to take care of business tonight or back in Barrie. A lot of movement over there from Tristan Osika, maybe wanting the ball to come back to him. A bouncing ball gets past Osika now, and one will come almost certainly to score. Across is Hayden Jaco off a bouncing ball that will keep the other 2 runners safe. So Royce Ando is going to drive in 1. Hayden Jaco and Barrie doubles their lead. 2-0 over the Majors in the top of the 4th.
Well, 2 things that I would like to call attention to quickly. Byron Reichstein, we were questioning his inclusion in the lineup tonight. He's an excellent player, but putting him in the cleanup spot was an interesting decision by Roop Chandradat. But it has paid off so far. Maybe not on the offensive side, but defensively, he has been rock solid out there and right in the throws. The cannon that he has got on his arm tonight. He almost had the out at third if Hayden Jaco had tempted fate. just a couple batters ago, and almost had Jaco again, this time at home plate.
It looked like it was going to be another inning of zeros until that solo home run came along from Nolan Macabrota and just blew this game wide open. Majors desperately looking for this final out of their defensive fourth inning. Roy Sando at second, Adam Odd at third. This ball is going to be swung on and makes it through the gap between short and third. Tyrese Plumpton is going to get one across to score. Adam Odd in there. And it's 3-0 Barrie. What a change of events.
When it rains, it pours. Barrie Baycats have the momentum on their side, and you can see big smiles as Adam Odd trots back to the dugout. Celebrations have seemingly already begun in the Barrie dugout. Lots of smiles, lots of applause and celebrations going on there, and why not? They have really earned it this inning, putting on the offensive display that we've been expecting all game long. But Payano has held strong, kept the bagel up there until now.
It was only a matter of time until Barrie started getting things back into their groove, and Payano's paying for it right now. An RBI single from Tyler Plumpton. He's on first base. Royce Ando on third. Majors crowd desperately trying to help their man on the rubber. This ball drops inside. Strike one for Payano against Canis Ijo. Back at the top of the order now for the Baycats.
And if Payano can't get through this inning, it looks like both Daniel Gore and Skylar Janice are both up in the pen right now.
This ball in there, and it's going to be a ball against Victor Payano. Count it 2-1. Corner still painted for the Baycats, with the potential of even more damage coming here if Payano is not able to get them out of this pickle. As you mentioned, number 11, Daniel Gore, warming up for the Majors. Payano's toss gets past Ijo. He was way early on that swing. Payano took a little pace off it, let it drop in nicely to the left-hand side of the plate. Count it 2-2.
The home crowd starting to show some spirit once again. They grew quiet after those first couple runs, but are now back in full force.
The 2-2 from Payano. First base umpire is going to say that he did not go. So the count moves to 3-2. And a stolen base is going to be also added on to Tyler Plumpton.
Plumpton had just a little too much momentum on his side, was really gunning for second base, almost a little too much. Ran over the bag, was stumbling a bit too.
You can tell by his reaction, laughing and giggling a little bit at that one. Perhaps too much anticipation and speed, not enough control. The count is still full. Payano trying to get out of this inning. Going to be smoked and fouled over to the dugout side of the Majors. Count remains.
A full count now. 2 outs, runners on second and third. Plumpton, of course, as we mentioned, moving up to second base now. So the danger ever more present.
And this is especially dangerous if Ijo is able to walk to first. Brandon Hernandez will step up. This one is going to be chopped and fouled, carrying a foul, so Ijo keeps himself alive. Count still at 3-2. Now bases loaded for Brandon Hernandez could potentially be the end of this game. Things could really get out of hand. This is a vital at bat here. A big battle between Ijo and Payano. Payano gets the swing a little bit early there from Ijo, but just got enough of the tip of the bat to tip it foul.
If nothing else, aside from the runs, what the Barrie Baycats are doing here, and we've mentioned it time and time again throughout the broadcast, that seems to be their strategy. their modus operandi, run up the pitch count of Peano, get him out of this game as quickly as possible, and do the damage while he's still here.
The fourth full count pitch to Ijo is going to be hit back, carrying in an ambiguous area, but in the end, the ball is caught from Byron Reichstein. Finally, says Victor Peano, the Majors able to retire the side, but not before they add 3 to their tally. Barrie leading 3-0 over the London Majors. Let's break down just how that happened, Josh. Obviously, Nolan Macabrota, things were looking so good. Back-to-back-to-back strikeouts against Hernandez, Williams, and Rijo for Victor Peano, but then Nolan Macabrota on the second pitch just got such a perfect hold of it, sent it back to the Labatt Memorial scoreboard for the first run of the game. Then it was followed by 4 singles, 2 of which I should say were for RBIs.
And when it rains, it pours, and that dam just broke. The Baycats, they got momentum on their side. You could see they were smiling as they were coming up to the dish against Peano. It's almost like they had him figured out, and yeah, it looks like we got more than a few players out there in the bullpen now. You got to imagine, for all the great work he's done, Peano's night may be over.
It very well could be. We'll see the decision from Roop Chandernet and Brent Wales. Braden Farrington also among the players warming up. And it could really go any way here for the London Majors. We saw a great pitching performance from Victor Peano up until Nolan Macabrota stepped back up for the second time. But it's important to know that the Majors have been not their strongest offensively in the 2024 playoffs. They really have to turn that around here if they want a shot at tying the series at home.
Well, I mean, sorry to cut you off there, Ty. You look at the London Majors in the postseason, 17 RBIs. That's 6 out of 8 teams that make the playoffs. That's really not good. 44 strikeouts against, that's 5th lowest. Again, out of 6. A .255 batting average, 5th best in 8 teams. That's not something you want to see if you're the London Majors. And we mentioned off the top of the broadcast, have scored 4 or less runs in their last 4 or 5 games. Really, really not what you want to see. And now big chance of Eddie as DeOlio steps up to the plate.
The Eddie chance rained down, and Cesar Rosado, 5 strikeouts to his name through the first 3. DeOlio's going to poke one past Rosado. A beautiful play, though. My goodness, snatched it up. Right place at the right time for Brandon Hernandez. Effortless throw over to Malik Williams and made that one look easy to punch out Eduardo DeOlio. That was no easy defensive effort, but my goodness, just showcasing what a star player and star addition he's been to this Barrie roster.
The third such play we've seen from him tonight. I mean, we can talk on end until we have no breath left about his offensive skills, but his defense really, really underrated, something that
almost
has not been
good.
talked about. Yeah, equally as good. He's a very well-rounded player, and I'd be surprised if he doesn't move back up to the Frontier League.
He robbed DeOlio of a single there. Now Byron Reichstein checking back in. He singled in his first at-bat, so 1 for 1 on the day. As the sun's starting to set here in downtown London. Fastball upstairs for another ball. Count it 1-1.
Reichstein picking up his 6th hit in 6 games in the playoffs. As we mentioned, a puzzling addition, but one that has paid dividends. The gamble has paid off, putting Reichstein into this game. And a good take there, but
my goodness,
yeah.
though. You can't do much about that when Rosano puts that much spin on the ball. It really looked like it was a 12-6 there. I mean, that came upstairs and dropped equally as fast. Beautiful pitch, and then the command to throw it inside. Ball sliding a little bit. Too far, though, and it's going to be called a ball. Count it 2 apiece. You can just see how patient Rosado is on the mound. Takes his time to set up each individual pitch. He's in no rush, and so far he's delivering the good stuff against the Majors. The 2-2 toss. Fastball is swung on, and another strikeout. 6th strikeout of the evening for Cesar Rosado. One of the best pitchers in the regular season. Carries that over into the postseason and sits down Byron Reichstein.
Well, that's going to bring up the left fielder, Starling Joseph, who had a single his first time up, got on base. I believe he advanced up to third.
Entering tonight, batting 167 in the playoffs, a little bit off his mark. Despite that, he's scored 3 runs and has 3 hits to his name. Rosado trying to retire the side in order. Fastball downstairs is a bullet, swung on over to Adam Odd. And it is going to be in time across over to Malik Williams. The Majors side is retired in order. They are not able to answer for the offense that Barrie showed us in this ever so interesting 4th inning of play. The Barrie Baycats lead 3-0 in the second game of the IBL semifinals. From downtown London, you're watching Majors TV.
Welcome to Labatt Park in London, Ontario, the world's oldest baseball grounds. Now through Labor Day, book your guided tour and walk the same field as Ty Cobb, Fergie Jenkins, Honus Wagner, and some of baseball's most legendary players. View artifacts from over the years inside the original 1940 clubhouse. Experience baseball history in London, Ontario. Book your guided tour at labattparktours.ca.
London International Airport provides a stress-free, easy and comfortable passenger experience. Visit flyYXU.ca to see our affordable sun destinations for winter. Travel is easy when you fly YXU.
Still Labor Day weekend here in downtown London. The youngsters enjoying the game. Little one there with her headphones. Don't know how much you can comprehend, but from what the rest of the fans are seeing, it's 3-0 in favor of the Barrie Baycats, trying to steal the show here in downtown London. A beautiful summer evening as the summer is winding down, creeping up on that fall season, trying to squeeze every last ounce of sun we can get here in southern Ontario. Pitcher Payano, after that almost what could have been extremely disastrous 4th inning of play. He was looking really good until that final out came around and Macabroda slapped one out of the park. Things changed on a dime in this one. The ethos completely turned around. Payano has to get things back under control. He had a very strong start, so we know he's capable of doing so. But he has to keep this one at more zeros to give his Majors offense a chance of crawling back in the game.
Now facing off against Brandon Hernandez, who has really lit the Majors up in the regular season. And he's going to get plunked there right on the back, and he looks a little displeased, to say the least.
Just a little bit. Smoked upstairs there. And Hernandez, that looked like it might have been a little bit painful, to say the least.
Walking it off. Looks like he's all right. Yeah, a bit shaken up, as you can see.
Definitely. Payano does throw gas towards the plate, and he caught the better end of it there, Hernandez. He'll take it nonetheless, though. Has reached base 2 out of 3 at-bats. And back in steps Malik Williams. Malik Williams, although he has not reached base this evening, we've seen him have some very good battles so far against Victor Payano. 8 pitches, between the 8 and 10 pitch range actually, in his first at-bat. He grounded out to first and struck out in his last, and now he's going to fire one over the head of Victor Plaz. Narrowly goes foul, could have easily dropped in to the right of that line, down left field. Starling Joseph had to be alert. but nothing in the end for Malik Williams.
Victor Payano, that was his 85th pitch of the night. And just to set the table for how decisive that fourth inning really could be, he was at 55 pitches heading into that inning, an extra 30 from the fourth alone.
As this one's going to be sliced out in a beautiful direction for Malik Williams, right over the head of Ty Mosher and just too far for Starling Joseph. Perfect placement on that one that plops itself down into shallow left field. And Malik Williams, for the first time this evening, reaches base with a single.
And it looks like we finally have a decisive answer as to who is going to be up in the bullpen for sure. Thrown around, warming up right now is Daniel Gore. So it seems like the Majors have finally come to a decision. They had Skylar Janice, Braden Farrington up, but it will, by the looks of it, be Daniel Gore checking into the game for Payano at some point. See if he can finish the inning.
We'll keep an eye on that as two men are on base for the Barrie Baycats. And the Majors have been struggling ever since Macabrona's heroics. Rijo, though, trying to score in some more runners or potentially get on base himself. This toss from Payano is too low, will be called for a ball.
Rijo, such an excellent hitter, sometimes playing in that designated hitter spot. Of course, he is tonight, but across his 7-year career with the Barrie Baycats, 36 home runs, 193 RBIs, 286 hits. When this guy hits, the earth shakes. He's got power for days, and Payano's got to be careful here.
This toss from Payano, similar location to the last one. Low away, bit short, Rijo. Nothing close to a good look there, so he smartly just hangs back. I believe that was the third ball from Payano. Dangerously close to loading the bases. Rijo's going to slap this back into center field. It's going to drop in front of Krzminski. Holding himself up is Hernandez at third. And just like that, the bases are loaded for the Baycats. Looked like Hernandez could have come around there if he was really on the ball. Not sure he expected that to go where it did. Nonetheless, 3 men on for the Baycats.
Well, we saw Hernandez's speed right off the top of the game in the first inning. I believe it was a foul ball, one of the many, by Malik Williams. Hernandez took off like he was fired from a cannon, was about halfway to third base before he realized it was a foul. So he probably could have gone for home, but it was a bit shallow. And to state the obvious, Krzminski, one of the many cannon arms on the field for the Majors tonight.
And if things can't get worse for the Majors, the man who slapped the solo home run for them, Nolan Macabrota, back out there now. Takes a swing at the first one and chops it off, so it's going to be 0-1.
Still no outs here in the top of the 5th inning. Payano really doing his best, but that 4th inning really shook him up. He hasn't been thrown his usual stuff. He's been a little more cautious instead of the fearless bravery we've seen in almost every other outing from him this season. Not the usual Payano indeed.
Brandon Hernandez on third, Malik Williams on second, and Ryan Rijo on first. Macabrota takes a big chop at that. It'll be in there for a strike. Count at 0-2. Majors have no outs. Could really dictate the rest of the game here without Victor Payano deals the next several batters, starting with Macabrota. Fastball high and upstairs, dodged in the end from Macabrota. That'll be the first ball of this at-bat, 1-2.
And Macabrota, after every pitch, has taken the time to glance over at the Majors dugout and stare them down. That takes a lot of guts. But after slapping a solo home run, you've got to have him.
Another one that the crowd does not like. Count it 2-2 there. Barrie has now 10 hits versus Payano, matching the total Payano had against him in the other playoff game. Something interesting to note there. He's been nearly perfect until this game rolled around.
Crowd starting to rally behind the home side, willing Payano to the strikeout. See if he can get it done.
The 2-2 swung on and fouled off by Macabroda, carrying far left behind the left field stanchions. The ball is going to roll down a little bit.
Yeah, popped back into the third base side bleachers. Didn't quite get as far as many had thought.
Yeah, weird placement on that ball to roll back down, but nonetheless, count remains at 2 apiece. Payano's toss is going to be hit right back to him. Smartly thrown to first. 1 out, and a second out thrown over from Eduardo De Olio. The umpires are kind of holding back. Didn't make a blatant call there.
No call. What's going on here?
It appears as for the moment, Nolan Macabroda thinks he's safe over at first, but the original play was made by Victor Payano over to home
now
to make sure that Brandon Hernandez was out. Smartly so, keeping the Baycats lead at 3. And it is official now that Macabroda made it safely over to first. Smart play from De Olio to try to turn a double play, unique double play. You don't really see that one too often in the sport of baseball. But good job from Payano, facing his first big test now. Macabroda, although he did reach first base safely, they did not let the run score. Caden Cardoso appeared to be off the bag in the end.
Yeah, I was just about to say, he tried to make the play and was then glancing around like, where's the call? But his foot never touched the bag. I wouldn't say a mistake. It was a very close play. Cardoso just couldn't get his foot to the bag in time.
Hayden Jaco takes a hack at that one. He's down 0-2. Only 1 out for the Majors. Victor Payano looking for his 7th strikeout of the evening. Could we see a defensive stand for Payano and the Majors?
Jaco is 2 for 2 tonight, looking to go 3 for 3 with the bases loaded.
That one, it will be swung on in the end, says the umpire. Another out for the Majors. Payano has his 7th and 2 outs back-to-back after the bases were loaded. But the test is not over with yet. Adam Odd steps back in, scored a run, singled out. He's 1 for 2 on the day. This inning will undoubtedly decide the fate of the rest of tonight's events. This one is going to be slapped in. It's fair! Adam Odd pokes one. Starling Joseph has to make a long run. Williams will score. Rijo around to score. And after him, Macabroda also in to score. Really devastating for the London Majors. A 3 RBI double for Adam Odd blows this game wide open. And the Barrie Baycats lead 6-0 over the London Majors.
Victor Payano, I respect Roop Chandradat's decision to keep him in the game here, let him try and get through the 5th inning, or at least half of it. But I don't know, tonight he was clicking right out of the gate, but once he hit that 4th, it just wasn't his night.
And we got a pitching change. Victor Payano will be relieved of his duties for Daniel Gore. It's our first pitching change presented by Throw, London's original knife throwing.
Hi, I'm Paul. I am a lane coach at Throw London. We're located right beside Lynn's Bakery and Deli. We're looking forward to having you come and have your axe throwing, knife throwing, or dart throwing event here at Throw London.
When you need a night out, Throw London is on point. With an atmosphere that's a cut above, Throw London brings together the best in knife throwing, axe throwing, and darts. So it's the perfect spot for a date night, night out with friends, leagues, and team building for the office. You've got to be 13 or older to throw pointy objects and 19 plus to enjoy their fully licensed offerings. It's the best spot in London for some fun with an edge. London's original knife throwing. Check them out at 2190 Dundas Street East and online at ithrow.ca. That's ITHROW.ca.
Thank you for that from Throw London's original ninth throwing. A pitching change, the first of the evening for either sides, comes after Victor Payano lets up 6 runs in the end after a strong start. But Daniel Gore out on the mound now. He's had some playoff experience already this year.
Just the 26 years of age, the Tecumseh, Ontario native. 4.82 in the ERA in the regular season across 28 innings pitched, 31 strikeouts, only gave up 15 walks, but also had a less than stellar 32 hits given up. In his 2022 season with the London Majors, included some playoff time. 3.10 ERA, 5 wins, 38 Ks. Looking to bring that experience back to the table here. Down by 6, 2 outs, and a runner on second.
Daniel Gore's pitched over 5 innings. First pitch there for a strike. In the 2024 playoffs, he's allowed 5 hits and 1 run against him. Although his ERA right now was at 0.00, the 24 playoffs. Back-to-back strikes on his first 2 pitches, and that's just what the Majors need. Someone to come in and clean things up for them. The difficult part is honestly not going to be the defense. It's going to be the offense trying to match the strengths of Barrie. Looking to strike out the side in 3 pitches, and he does without a problem. Daniel Gore sits down the side. Finally, the Majors are able to get out of the top of the 5th inning. Not before the Baycats add 3 more to their tally. They lead 6-0 over London. Daniel Gore, perfect though, in relief thus far.
3 pitches, 3 strikes, that's all it took. Maybe he's the secret weapon that the Majors can rely on the rest of the way, if that at-bat was any indication.
I'd like to take this time to thank Through Thick and Thin Pizza for feeding our broadcast crew some good pie. You've got the chance to experience it for the first time tonight, Josh.
I have. It was a true delight, and hey, some of the best I've ever had.
There you go.
Really highlights the amenities here at Labatt Park. It's just been fantastic coming here, seeing the sights, the history of this place, and to top it all off, some fantastic pizza.
The history is thick in this ballpark, and we're looking for perhaps one of the most historic comebacks to be in Majors history. If they're able to turn things around, and they have to turn it around very, very quickly. They're back to the part of the order that sees Cleveland Brownlee hitting first, followed by Victor Plaz and Ty Mosher, guaranteed at bats in this bottom of the 5th. Cesar Rosado remains on the mound. He has 6 strikeouts to his name this evening and has been, I have to say, absolutely perfect.
This is just his night. He is in his element. He has found his groove. He is stone-faced. He stares down the batters every single time. Just so exciting to watch. Even though this is a Majors broadcast, we can't sing his praises enough. Cesar Rosado already on 6 strikeouts tonight. 53 pitches, 33 of which have been strikeouts. He's got plenty of game left to play and plenty of gas left in the tank.
Cleveland Brownlee, perhaps the most favorite Major in history, the longest tenured Majors in history, steps back in and tries to be the first domino in what the Majors hope to be several players reaching base in the bottom of the 5th.
Cleveland Brownlee has been a game changer across all 14 seasons. Across 591 games, he has 138 home runs, 528 RBIs, and a 289 batting average all time.
The gloveless Cleve takes a swing at that one. It's going to be well low, though. Count even at 1 apiece. Rosado still delivering the same stuff that he was back in the 1st. Just perfect technical pitching, working the entirety of the plate, and a lot of movement behind his balls.
And the Atlanta GA native, 40 years old, but still swinging it like he's 20 or 30. He's got plenty of gas left in the tank, and he's going to drive that one into deep center field.
Cleve Brownlee's ball carrying back at the warning track, but my goodness, just short of it there. How that would have electrified this crowd. Cleve almost there. 400 deep center in the direction of Kenisi Joe, who makes the play in the end, but definitely gave the side a scare.
So close there, and Canisijo able to make the catch on the warning track. If the breeze had been blowing in a different direction, we would have seen that one leave Labatt, but Brownlee still pretty happy with that at-bat. Throwing his hands up in frustration, like, why couldn't that just go an extra 2 feet?
If it was down either one of the sides, it definitely would have made it out, but unfortunately, carrying deep center didn't quite have the legs. Bunt attempt was on there for Victor Plaz, has to hold back in the end.
Victor Plaz hailing from Montreal, Quebec, 25 years old, in his second year in the IBL last season with these very same Barrie Baycats, batted .320, 3 home runs, and 15 RBIs. Another key part of the deep playoff push that they went on last year.
Plaz struck out in his first at-bat. He takes a chop at this one and bounces it towards the Majors dugout. Excuse me, the Majors bullpen there, actually. Rosado still 6 strikeouts. Looking for number 7 against Victor Plaz. Plaz trying to turn things around any way he can for the Majors offense.
The crowd rallying behind the home side. And the bunt attempt again.
Another bunt attempt drops, unfortunately, right in the direction of Rosado. Didn't quite have the placement, and that ball had a lot of pace behind it. Couldn't do much to handle it at the plate. And just like that, the Majors are 2 down in the bottom of the 5th.
Well, you mentioned the 6 strikeouts tonight. It's now 17 Ks across 2 postseason starts for Cesar Rosado, pardon me. Words are tough, but so is Rosado. He has been steely-eyed and perfect at the mound.
We'll back up now for the Majors. Ty Mosher struck out in his first. He's 0 for 1 on the day. And we're just getting now to the round of second at-bats for the Majors, and it's the bottom of the 5th. Shows you the testament to how prolific of a job Rosado has done out there thus far. But we have to remember, it was the same thing for Victor Payano, and one swing of the bat completely changed the momentum. The Majors looking for anything here. That one gets in there for a strike against Mosher. He's 2 down. Count at 1 and 2.
With Payano, it was a curveball that he left hanging just a little too long. And like you mentioned, Ty, it's one pitch that can change the course of the game. That one fouled back right into Plumpton.
Yeah, it was. He has to take his second there and loop around. Just came in awkwardly and he got caught. Changes nothing for Rosado, though, looking to deliver more of the same. And Ty Mosher trying to get on base. 1 and 2 count. 2 outs for the Baycats. And the Majors have all to do. Rosado's pitch. A lot of movement behind it, but too far upstairs. Didn't break nearly early enough. And outside, count at 2 and 2.
Mosher, 4 hits in 5 games this postseason, 308 batting average, 1 RBI, and a stolen base. But he is looking for something bigger here tonight at Labatt.
2-2 pitch, won't have to wait for a second. As things get reset here. Rosado waving off the first offering from Plumpton, sees one he likes now. Sets and deals the 2-2. My goodness, that had so much movement on it. Ty Mosher just watched it sail below his knees. Count it full.
That one was all over the place. From 12 to 6 to 3. Just waving about. And now a full count, 2 outs here in the bottom of the 5th against Ty Mosher.
Ty Mosher is going to hit one out into the shallow left field area. It's going to be caught by Nolan Mackey-Broda. And a pretty routine play there for the left fielder And a job well done for the Barrie Baycats. Offensively and defensively have been perfect so far through the first 5. 6th inning action. When we come back, the Majors have a lot to do. Barrie leading 6-0 in this Game 2 of the IBL semifinals. You're watching Majors TV.
Go beyond the scores and get to know the athletes who call the Forest City home.
Crushes one.
Game Day London brings you in-depth stories and conversations about London's major teams and the athletes. Whether it's in the rink with the Knights or on the field with the Majors, Game Day London has you covered from the start. For fresh and engaging sports coverage, visit GameDayLondon.com, a proud sponsor of MajorsTV.
If there's guys on base, I'm trying to create the situation in my head. Corey Hunter taught me that. Create it in your mind, where you're throwing the ball, what you're doing in this situation. When it happens, you're just reacting. Defense, you can always make a play. You always have an opportunity. You never know what ball's going to get hit to you. It's always a good feeling when you're running down balls for your pitcher. You look forward to running balls and robbing home runs. Nothing more satisfying than making a dive play or a big play.
The sun has officially set here in downtown London, and things have rather set in place in the ballgame so far. The Barrie Baycats leading 6-0 over the London Majors, as you can see here at the Labatt Memorial Park scoreboard. Inside the Game Day London press box, I'm Ty White, joined alongside Joshua Alderman. Josh, it's a pleasure to have you with us in your first game of the season here in London, and also warm welcome to all of you watching at home from wherever you may be, perhaps back in Barrie, north on the 400. I live in around that area, so I can appreciate the trip that some of you have made today, and definitely the Baycats team. Bit of a long haul on a Labor Day Sunday afternoon.
Well, it's always a pleasure to be calling some IBL action, and then, coming here to Labatt Memorial Park, coming here to London has just been a fantastic experience. Great atmosphere, great fans, great company in the broadcast booth, and great pizza as well.
The triple package. Tyler Plumpton is going to pop one out. A diving attempt just gets out of the glove of Ty Mosher, and he looked like he hurt himself on that one. You have to be careful. Roop Janderdat and the Majors trainer rushing over now to check in on their shortstop. It's no secret that the Majors have been rather banged up throughout the 2024 playoffs. To keep a close eye on this, and we hope that Ty Mosher is okay. Would have been really a fantastic diving attempt in shallow left field. Regardless, Royce Ando able to reach first base. Excuse me, I believe that was actually Tyler Plumpton reaching first.
Yep, that is Plumpton. Had a stolen base just an inning ago.
So we'll take a second to make sure Ty Mosher is okay. He appears to be standing up now and receives a warm ovation from the crowd here at Labatt Park. Would have been an amazing play. Fantastic diving attempt, and showing that even 6-0 down, the Majors have nothing but winning on their mind, and he really laid his body on the line there. So hats off to Ty Mosher on a fantastic effort. We'll see how this shakes things up defensively and who comes in to replace him. It appears to be number 39. I believe that is Jagan Chanderdat.
Yes, it is. Just 18 years old, the London native, spent some time with the Ontario Nationals last year. .214 batting average, 1 stolen base, 5 strikeouts, 3 hits, 3 runs across 9 games in the regular season. And I believe he was a pinch runner a couple nights ago in Barrie. Came around to score in the 7th inning. That helped put the Majors on top 2-1 before the Baycats came back with the offensive explosion.
So Janderdat in at shortstop, I believe, for the Majors. Excuse me, he's going to be in at second. It's going to be a flip over now. And
Osika will move
Tristan
to short.
Osika at short. So Tristan Osika at short. Jagan Chanderdat relieves Osika of his second base duties, and takes over for him.
We have an out-of-town scoreboard update out at the pond in Welland. Jackfish now on the board, 4-2 the score. Guelph Royals still leading, but Ethan Hunt with a single and an error by Andy Leader lets Dawson Tweet and Steve Moretto come around to score. 4-2 in that game, and if you're a real IBL fan, you're watching both of these games right now, red zone style.
As we mentioned before, a nice sliding ball there, a lot of movement on it from Daniel Gore. He's up 0-2, a pitcher's count against his counterpart, Kenise Io.
And
this ball outside, it's going to be 1-2 to Kenise Io.
And it seems as though we have another defensive replacement. I believe that is Charlie Bowman out there in left field replacing Starling Joseph.
So Charlie Bowman replaces Starling Joseph. A bunch of rotations now in the Majors defensive lineup. Bowman in left field, Osika now at short, and Jenkins Chanderdat sitting at second. The count is 2-2 to Kenise Io. And a 1-on for the Baycats. Beautiful slider all the way across the plate. Gets another strikeout, his second of the game for Daniel Gore, sitting down Kenise Io.
Daniel Gore has only needed 9 pitches, 7 of which have been strikes. Here tonight, facing off against 3 batters, now already 2 strikeouts. And of course, allowed that single, and now he's going to face off. I mean, he's got his work cut out for him in Brandon Hernandez.
Hernandez obviously got smoked by that Payano pitch in his last outing. This fastball inside and paints the corner for a strike off Daniel Gore's offering. So Hernandez singled out in his first, struck out in his second, and was hit by Payano in his third. Another big swing from Hernandez off another fastball. Not used to being down 0-2 in the count.
A very uncharacteristic swing from Hernandez. It seems like Gore has got the Baycats number in the middle of this game.
Potentially his third strikeout of the evening. Daniel Gore's ball sliding in. That looked to be maybe a close call in the end, but
a 50-50 ball.
Yes, but Rose is going to say it was too low. Therefore, count at 1-2.
Crowd coming alive once more as the Majors fans get excited.
Gore's offering fastball, laser to the outside, too far outside. Count is even at 2 apiece now.
I like this strategy by Daniel Gore. He's trying to bait Hernandez into swinging yet again at an outside fastball. He doesn't want to play it inside. We have talked relentlessly about Hernandez's offensive skills. So very, very smart maneuvering by Daniel Gore.
This pitch to Hernandez, very well inside. Count moves to full. So just shows you the plate discipline from Brandon Hernandez, being down 0-2, crawling back to get a full count. He has room to work with as well. Tyler Plumpton sitting on first. Only 1 out for the Majors in this top of the 6th. This toss inside. It's going to get him in the end. Hernandez went too far across. Daniel Gore gets the call, his third strikeout of this outing. And Hernandez displeased with himself there. Majors have 2 outs now.
Maybe not just himself. He was shouting something back at Jeff Rose, the home plate umpire and crew chief for tonight's contest. He really wasn't pleased. Yeah, probably with himself. The check swing did go too far around, no doubt about that. But he believes he pulled it back in time, and he doesn't really like the call from Rose, letting him know how he feels. He's got to be careful.
Don't want to jinx it just yet, but Daniel Gore has done a great job in relief. Slider goes way across the plate, too far outside. Doesn't draw anything from Malik Williams. Williams is 1 for 3 on the day. He singled in his last at bat.
As tenacious as they come, one of the best contact hitters in the IBL. Facing off against Gore and takes that offering low.
Going to be 2 balls now off that low pitch from Daniel Gore. These skies have settled into an odd color, perhaps some clouds coming over London now. Hopefully no rain to add on to that. Gore's toss, fastball right down the pipe. In there for strike 1 against Malik Williams.
Malik Williams, we've seen throughout this contest just how patient he can be, going back to that first inning, the close to 15-pitch battle with Peano, and now facing off against Gore.
This one is going to be plopped up right past the glove of Gore. Trying to be thrown to first. It's not. Oh, excuse me. It is in time from Jagan Chanderdat. Another delayed reaction from the umpire, but the Majors able to retire the side. The replacement at second, Chanderdat, doing his job well in replacement for Tristan Osika, who took over the job of Ty Mosher after that unfortunate diving injury. But the Majors are able to keep things strong in that inning. Exactly what they need to give their offense a chance in the remaining 4 for them. Right now we're going to throw it field side to Justin Kohler, who has more for us.
Gentlemen, there have been some impressive plays and some impressive players throughout the course of the playoffs so far across the entire league, and the playoffs really are the time when it matters most for these teams. The Majors do have a couple players in that category, and one I wanted to talk about a bit about really quick is the resident catcher, Eduardo Di Olio. His 2024 numbers kind of regressed a little bit when compared to his 2023 numbers, swapping out a bit of power for some plate discipline, but he really is putting it together here in the playoffs this season. He, right now, is a top 10 player in the playoffs, and collectively so far has a 429 average, 9 hits, 2 RBIs, a double, a home run, all with just 1 strikeout through the playoffs so far. So he really has been coming in incredibly clutch for the team on an offense that really needs his bat in there. And so let's send it back up to Ty and Josh in the Game Day London press box. And gentlemen, he has been on fire both behind the plate, calling the games, and at the bats as well.
Thanks so much for that, Justin. He really has been on fire. Saw that amazing throw over to Caden Cardoso to punch it out earlier in this one at first. And right now we are going to have Cesar Rosado remaining on the mound for the Baycats. As we continuously mention, he's done a near perfect job for his side, striking out 6 on the evening, giving the Majors a very tough time offensively. It's incredible to mention that Ty Mosher did not even see a second at bat, and we're already in the bottom of the 6th inning.
That's just a testament to how dominant Rosado has been tonight. We knew that he, aside from Frank Garces, was probably the co-ace of this dominant Baycats pitching staff. And he has just come out, made that role his own here in Game 2 of the semifinals.
So Tristan Osika, who now is swapped over to shortstop, checks back in. He's going to foul one off. And honestly, this is an extremely crucial time for the Majors, as they are going to be going to the top of the order after Tristan Osika. If he is able to do a little bit of damage here for his squad, could potentially be followed by some of the best hitters on London's side to add even more offensive opportunity.
All it takes is one to break the dam down, to kick in the door and get things going for your side. We saw that with Makia Broda back in the 4th. Could this be Osika's time?
Osika takes a swing at this one, called for a strike, too low, but he took a hack at it anyways. Count at 1-2. The fans in London have settled down a bit after Barrie's onslaught of offense, rightly so. It's also cooled down quite literally here in the ballpark. More winds now in the outfield and rather dark with some clouds overhead.
Well, I was just checking the forecast here. No clouds. It's just an odd sky tonight here in downtown London. A frigid 18 degrees here at only 8 o'clock at night. Should get down to about 12 by 10 o'clock, but no clouds on the horizon. No rain either.
Tristan Osika smokes one foul there Off what was a hanging curveball from Cesar Rosado. Count is at 2 apiece, even. No outs. Rosado's toss. Acquires another swing, ends up in a similar area, going foul back left. And the crowd trying to heat up to inspire their Majors to do something offensively.
It's not just inspiration, they are challenging a burgeoning chant by a couple Baycats fans of "Let's go Barrie."
Rosado's toss a little bit faster this time. Didn't take as long for his windup on that one. Trying to catch Osika off guard with the inside fastball. Too far inside though. Count is full. 3-2 to Osika.
Crowd quiets down. The spirit diminished as the full count in place.
The full count to Osika. Takes a swing at it. It was outside. It was a fastball. Another punch out for Rosado. His 7th of the evening. Now matching his starting counterpart, Victor Payano. And he sits down the first one in Osika. Gibson Krasminski stepping back in.
The lead-off hitter tonight hasn't had the best night. Struck out his first time up, grounded out his second time up, 0 for 2. And so far, that's pretty consistent with how he's played in the playoffs. 0.56 average heading into tonight's contest. 1 home run, 1 stolen base, and 6 strikeouts in the past 5 games.
This ball paints the outside corner. It's going to be called for a strike. 0-1 against Krasminski. Rosado so patient, so poised, and so technical. So difficult to deal with. He's been a handful for the Majors offense tonight. He's making his case for player of the game if things continue.
No doubt about it.
Rosado waits. The 1-1 fastball high and upstairs. Going to be watched by Gibson Krasminski, now 2-1.
Krasminski in his second year with the London Majors. Last year had an explosive season. 245 batting average, 21 RBIs, 9 doubles, and 14 walks. Now looking to find some of that magic, recapture the power and poise he had last season.
Still only 1 out here. This one will be poked past the shortstop, Brandon Hernandez. Gibson Krasminski finally reaches first base. The Majors have something going for them after a long sequence of being sat down. My goodness, if we go back and actually look at how many times it was, I believe, 12 or 13 at-bats since a Major reached base. Caden Caruso steps in now with a chance to make a difference. He struck out twice against Rosado. It's been a tough battle for him. It's not how you start, it's how you finish. Cardoso wanted to take a whack at this one. Thankfully for him, carries too far outside, so Adam Odd can't end his run. Over to make a catch. He's down 1-0.
And for the second time tonight, we can hear the Majors faithful singing "Oh, Caden Cardoso." I mean, he has instantly become a fan favorite.
Really prolific addition for the Majors in 2024. Can he do it in the playoffs, though? Big swing inside. Good fastball from Rosado. He's really tough to deal with on that mound. And is getting the better of Cardoso in this game. Cardoso trying to change that. Krasminski over on first. Some room to work with, only 1 out for the Majors. Fastball down low. Really a bullet from Rosado. He has got the arsenal. He's got the fastball going for him. The breaking ball's all over the place. Such a technical pitcher. It's a real treat to watch, but what a nightmare if you're a London Majors hitter. Rosado takes a peek back at first over to Krasminski. The windup and toss to Cardoso well inside. Cardoso actually had to back up off the plate a little bit there. Count it 2-2.
Now you see some pitchers, as the game progresses, most pitchers, naturally, as the game progresses, they lose steam, they slow down, they don't really throw their best stuff as often. But you might want to turn the broadcast on mute, Majors fans, because Rosado just seems to get better and better as this game goes on and on.
The 2-2 to Caden Cardoso. My goodness, that ball looked like it was going so far outside, but then just took a quick spin, dipped right back down in the strike zone, and Cardoso was forced to foul it off. That would have been absolutely nasty, but Cardoso so good at the plate that he had a hunch for that one, was able to keep himself alive. The bat speed there from Cardoso. Count still at 2-2. Throw is back over to first base, trying to get out Krasminski, but he was well safe in the end. Cardoso has to calm things down, and he's awaiting this next pitch, regardless a good at bat for him.
Such excellent plate vision. 30 RBIs across the regular and postseason. He is Mr. Clutch, the Rookie of the Year, if there ever was one. Now facing the 2-2 count.
Rosado inside, Cardoso belts one into deep right field. It's going to carry around Krasminski to third. Krasminski is headed all the way home. Gibson Krasminski safe at home. The Majors finally add one to their tally. It's an RBI triple for Caden Cardoso. It might not seem like much on the scoreboard, but it means everything to the momentum of this game. The Majors back in it momentum-wise. Only one out. They have a man on third, and my goodness, only within 5 now.
Oh, Caden Cardoso. Have yourself a night, young man. If you needed any more fuel to the fire, why, he is the Rookie of the Year. Go back, watch that play again, and now a tepid situation just got even more dangerous, because here comes Eddie.
Some life was just sprung into the London Majors fans. That was such a difficult at-bat for Cardoso. He fought through it, though, and Aolio is going to take one now inside. A hit by pitch, and the Majors paint the corners. Cardoso on third. Eduardo Deolio with that HBP will now make his way over to first base. Byron Reichstein checks back in with a chance to do some serious damage on the scoreboard for London.
Deolio, you can see he's got the arm sleeve on his right hand. Well, guess what? He got plunked on the left elbow, completely unprotected, and you can see he's still shaking his hand, checking things out. See, he's still got feeling in his fingers as he trots down to first base. Runners on the corners now with one out, and a very quick mound visit. No coaches needed, but seemingly a pep talk on the part of Tyler Plumpton.
They have to tell Rosado just to calm down and get back to what's been working in this one. Things could have really changed here if Caden Cardoso's RBI triple comes back to haunt the Barrie Baycats. Once again, that was a ridiculously tough at-bat. He saw so many different types of pitches, even some delay with that throw over to first. I think smartly so to try to throw Cardoso off his rhythm, but he got the better. The deep drive into right field. Perfectly placed breaking ball there from Cesar Rosado. Down for strike one against Byron Reichstein. Still only one out for the Majors. And a lot to do. Second toss, fastball outside. My goodness. Just a laser. It was well outside in the end, but it drew a swing from Reichstein. He's down 0-2 quickly.
Across 12 seasons with your London Majors, Reichstein has 317 RBIs and 68 home runs. Over a decade of clutch.
Rosado looking for the sign that he wants. Gets it now, fastball, down low, and a punch out. Byron Reichstein sat down off the 8th strikeout of the evening for Cesar Rosado, and a crowd silencer after the momentum was picking up. And honestly, you can't do much if you're Byron Reichstein there. I mean, those were just perfectly placed pitches from Rosado. The right amount of pace. Too hot to handle in the end for London. Let's see if Charlie Bowman can change things here.
That is not Charlie Bowman. That's Drew Lawrence.
It is Drew Lawrence. So Drew Lawrence checks in for the first time this evening. Looks like Bowman's appearance in this game might be short-lived.
Defensively only.
So Drew Lawrence stepping in place of where Starling Joseph would be playing. Majors still have the corners painted. Cardoso and Aolio. Another perfectly placed pitch, my goodness. High inside on a ball that was sliding from out to in. Perfect against Drew Lawrence. What a tough time to check in if you're Lawrence with this pressure against this hot of a pitcher right now. A bullet of a fastball. My goodness. Perhaps one of the best pitching performances we've seen all year in the IBL in terms of variety, placement, speed, and results.
Drew Lawrence is no pushover, though. In the regular season, a .400 batting average, 28 hits in 25 games, and 10 RBIs.
He's down 0-2. Gets a tick of this one, though. A bouncing ball makes its way right over to Royce Anno. When unfortunately for Caden Cardoso, no one is able to get him across. And we really saw it just took the best London Major hitter a deep at bat to be able to score one across. And the rest of the Majors don't have an answer quite yet for the prolific pitching of Cesar Rosado. The score now 6-1 through the first 6 here at Labatt Park. It's all dark, but things are heating up when we come back. You're watching Majors TV from downtown London, playoff baseball.
London International Airport provides a stress-free, easy and comfortable passenger experience. Visit flyYXU.ca to see our affordable sun destinations for winter. Travel is easy when you fly YXU.
When you need a night out, Throw London is on point. With an atmosphere that's a cut above, Throw London brings together the best in knife throwing, axe throwing, and darts. So it's the perfect spot for a date night, night out with friends, leagues, and team building for the office. You've got to be 13 or older to throw pointy objects and 19 plus to enjoy their fully licensed offerings. It's the best spot in London for some fun with an edge. London's original knife throwing. Check them out at 2190 Dundas Street East and online at ithrow.ca. That's ITHROW.ca.
Welcome back, folks, inside Labatt Memorial Park, and we have a pitching change on behalf of the London Majors. Daniel Gore is relieved, despite doing pretty good job in relief. Things are going to be turned over now to number 63. It's going to be Braden Farrington. Braden Farrington has appeared in one playoff game so far, only 2 innings pitched. He allowed 8 hits, though, and 6 runs. Fortunately for him, because of that short sample size, a 19.28 ERA. Trying to get that number drastically lower in this outing against the Baycats. Saw a spark from the Majors offense, but honestly it's been just too much to handle with all the stuff that's been thrown towards them by Cesar Rosado. Get our first look at Farrington now, and Ryan Rijo back up at the plate. Few shifts defensively for the Majors. Gibson Kresminski is now taking over in left field.
Drew Lawrence is going to shuffle over to center field, and Farrington, he was formidable in the regular season, a .456 ERA, 3 wins across 23 innings pitched, 12 strikeouts, and gave up just 4 walks as Rijo takes a massive hack at that one, brings the count up to 0-2.
Did take a big swing there. 0-2 count. trying to get started hot like Daniel Gore did when he came in the game. And he will. A strikeout right away for Braden Farrington. His first punch out of the evening. And his 6th of the playoffs so far. But in steps in Nolan Makibroda. Singled in his last at-bat, solo home run before that, and that's what got all the offense started for the Barrie Baycats, drawing that first blood of the evening.
Oh, I mentioned before, it only takes one batter, one pitcher to open the floodgates, to get things going, to get momentum on your side. Makibroda just so happened to be that guy for the Baycats. Cardoso tried to emulate the same success, but the Majors only able to get one out of that.
Farrington's first pitch against Makibroda, second pitch, well outside, 2-0. We do have a defensive update for the Majors. It's not Drew Lawrence in the outfield, actually Champ Gardner takes center, Gibson Kresminski in left. And still, Byron Reichstein, by our last check, over in right. Count 2-1 to Makibroda. The Majors need a pair of zeros here to close out the games defensively and a lot offensively. Farrington inside, draws a swing from Makibroda. Count at 2-2 on a nice pitch that fooled him and drew a premature swing.
Farrington in just 7 pitches has had these Baycats hitters fooled. Him and Gore may have been the secret sauce that the Majors needed.
Makibroda is going to tip one right in the direction of Caden Cardoso. It is going to go just foul, though, says the umpire. So things will reset. Count remains at 2-2.
It looks like we've got a couple of players out in the Baycats bullpen warming up. Nothing too serious yet, not game-type pitches. But something to keep an eye on. Are they going to let Rosado go another inning? Have to wait and see.
There is no action whatsoever in the Baycats bullpen, so we can only assume Rosado will still be back out there. Update from Welland, 9-3 now in favor of the Guelph Royals, really taking command against the 2023 Domenico Cup champions, and seemingly will now lead the series 2-1. Farrington's pitch to Makibroda is chopped up high. Victor Plaz backtracking and gets a hold of this one. Underneath it, Majors now 2 outs, and Makibroda flies out to shallow left.
That just goes to show Victor Plaz's confidence in his defensive abilities, waving off Osika, even though it looks like he was having trouble finding it in the lights here at Labatt Memorial Park, but he trusted in himself, he trusted in his glove, and came up with the catch. Now 2 outs here in the top of the 7th.
It has transitioned to a calm evening here at Labatt Park. The LEDs shining down bright. Hayden Jaco steps back in. Jaco's going to chop one out into shallow right field, carrying further back. Underneath it is Byron Reichstein, and that's just what the Majors needed. Braden Farrington, a good first pitching outing for him. The Majors retire the side without allowing any more runs against. Good job defensively from them, Josh.
Yeah, just really fantastic stuff, and it looks like the many substitutions may have paid off for the London Majors. Now bringing in the big bat of Champ Gardner. And of course, Byron Reichstein able to get the job done. And yes, despite the activity in the Baycats bullpen, we have got Cesar Rosado still on the mound, remaining in the game. So faith placed in him by Josh Matlow and company.
Although the Majors are trailing by 5, things are heating up amongst the fans at Labatt Memorial Park. The t-shirt toss during the 7th inning stretch. It's been a tedious night for Majors hitters. A rough journey against one of the IBL's best. The ace in Cesar Rosado. He's been Dominican dynamite dominance on the rubber tonight. Absolutely phenomenal, so technical, so fast, and so tough to face if you're a Majors hitter. They're going to have a chance to change things up with Big Cleve Brownlee stepping back in, followed by Victor Plaz and Jagan Chanderdat after him. It is the middle to bottom of the Majors order, and they desperately need something offensively. Caden Cardoso really sparked the offense with that scoring triple, the RBI triple, hit out to deep right field. And that took the most possible effort from the best hitting player on the Majors side. Once again, just shows you how strong of a player Rosado is and what a game he's having. It took everything out of Cardoso.
Well, you want to talk about strength. Cardoso has plenty of it and guts to boot. He just read the pitches right out of Rosado's hands. There's a reason he is going to be Rookie of the Year, but speaking of strength, Cleve Brownlee up at the dish.
Cleve Brownlee back up to it. He's had a bit of a quiet night. Obviously had that first sacrifice bunt that parachuted over the head of Rosado and advanced a couple runners. That was really the chance that the Majors had to add offensively, as that one's in their first strike. Reichstein singled, Joseph singled, and that sacrifice bunt from Brownlee advanced them into scoring position respectively. Fortunately, it was followed by a pair of strikeouts there. And this one is a beautiful sliding ball low and away on Cleveland Brownlee for ball two.
Just one strike against Big Cleve Brownlee, the Atlanta GA native, staring down Rosado in a sign of defiance.
He's going to slap one. It will make it past the seemingly unbreakable wall of Brandon Hernandez. Cleveland Brownlee reaches first. No outs for the Majors. And once again, that little sparkle of light seems to be growing bigger and bigger. Cleveland Brownlee reaches base for the first time this evening, and he'll be replaced by a Prince runner in Brad Verhoeven.
Brad Verhoeven, in the regular season, had just one stolen base, but I saw firsthand when I was calling Royals games at Hastings Stadium and the Majors came to town, Verhoeven is a star, and so is Cleve Brownlee.
Getting a standing ovation from a lot of fans to Cleve Brownlee. Played his part perfectly there. The veteran sparked this offense, trying to get back to its winning ways. They were so good in the middle of the season and early part of the season offensively, then things just cooled off for them. And a bit of a dead point now, trying to get things heated. Back up, fastball blazing inside. Plaz is not happy about that. Whips his bat backwards, and he was destroyed in the upper abdominal area. That's got to hurt a little bit. He's walking it off right now, but I'm sure in the end he won't mind because the Majors have no outs and 2 men on.
That one clocking him right inside, right in the upper rib area, and that is Matlow walking out to the mound, and despite the dominance, Rosado's night might very well be over.
Yeah, we'll see here. We do have a player finally warming up for the Baycats. We'll get a number shortly there for you.
Yeah, that could be Brandon Hillier in his 9th IBL year, 5th with the Barrie Baycats, a 5.26 ERA in the regular season. No postseason appearances yet.
Rosado is going to stay out there for right now, so we'll keep an eye on Hillier if he does come out. The Majors, though, this is honestly just what they needed. Bottom of the 7th, not too much time left to clean up their act. Cleveland Brownlee, the veteran, playing his part well, like he always has for the London Majors. A crucial single. Plaz belted by the pitch from Rosado, and now in steps Jagan Chanderdat, the manager's son. At a crucial time for the Majors. One of the youngest players, I believe the youngest player on this Majors roster.
Just 18 years old, and yes, he is Roop Chanderdat's son, but he's got the ability and the prowess to back it up. He doesn't need his dad's influence to prove the haters wrong and to make an impact in this game, and as soon as I say that, takes a big hack at that one. Even the count up at 1-1. Yeah, Chanderdat, 3 hits across 9 games, has come around to score 3 times as well. already has a stolen base and was one of the runs that came around, building up the Majors' 2-1 lead in the 7th inning back on Thursday's game.
Chanardette has not seen too much time here for the Majors. Bunt attempt there, no good in the end, slides past him. Count at 1-2 now. But Chanardette has played a good role for the Majors in the 2024 playoffs, considering the amount of players they've had either slightly injured or banged up. And we're seeing that on display here tonight after the unfortunate diving attempt from Ty Mosher. Good eye from Chanardette, fastball outside. Does not require a swing. And the count back at 2-2. The Majors still have 2 men on.
So young and already a veteran's vision on Chanardette as he stares down Rosado and waits the 2-2.
Brad Verhoeven on second, Victor Plaz at first. Big swing by Chanardette. He will strike out. Tough for Chanardette going against the red-hot Rosado right now. And that'll be the 9th punch-out of the evening for Cesar Rosado. Back in for the Majors now, Tristan Osika. He has also not had any base appearances this evening, struck out twice in his 2 at-bats.
But he has been stellar in the postseason so far. .375 batting average heading into tonight's contest. 1 RBI, 1 walk, 3 hits in 4 games, and has come around to score once. So he has been proven with the Cardinals and now with the Majors as a playoff commodity.
This ball is well outside from Rosado. Shika watched it the whole way through. Gonna take this at bat really patiently, I imagine. Would love to walk on and load the bases here with only 1 out for the Majors. Rosado takes a peek back at Verhoeven. That pitch is sliced off and fouled by Osika. Count at 1-1.
Waiting in the on-deck circle, should Osika reach base, is the one and only Gibson Kresminski. Waiting in the wings and slowly putting his gear on, the leadoff hitter, looking for another chance to head to bat, but of course Osika's got to do his job first.
A perfect breaking ball. We've seen that all night long from Rosado. Great movement across the plate, dipped at the right time, and threw Osika off his stance. Count at 1-2 now in favor of Rosado.
Barrie Baycats fans trying to rally their side back into this inning.
A laser of a fastball is belted. It's going to make it into shallow left field, and it will load the bases for the London Majors with only 1 out. Back to the top of the order now. An important swing on the bat from Tristan Osika keeps the Majors' hopes alive as we're getting into the latter parts of this game. Osika with a single loads the bases and reaches base for the first time this evening.
Osika, as I mentioned, has seen playoff time and time again with the Hamilton Cardinals, with the London Majors, proven his worth here tonight, and that will bring off the leadoff man, Gibson Kresminski. 22 RBIs in the regular season. 2 home runs, 7 doubles.
What an opportunity for Gibson Kresminski. The Majors still down by 5. First pitch is a strike. Ball that had movement on it, low and away. Tough for Kresminski there. Majors have to be extremely selective at which ones they'll take a swing on here. Kresminski with a big opportunity. Takes a hack at this one. Down 0-2 very quickly. It's not what you want if you're the London Majors or Kresminski now.
Well, Kresminski hasn't exactly had the best of nights. A strikeout, a ground out, has singled once, but now 7 strikeouts across 6 games played in the playoffs. He's got to tighten up that swing if he wants to help do some damage.
The pitch from Rosado to Kresminski, swung on and another strikeout. A killer there against Gibson Kresminski. That's good for number 10 on the evening for Cesar Rosado. 2 strikeouts on the evening for Gibson Kresminski. But ladies and gentlemen, hold your horses. Caden Cardoso steps back into the batter's box. The biggest at-bat of his IBL career right now. Bases loaded. 2 outs against the Majors, bottom of the 7th, and they're down by 5. 1 swing of the bat could bring the Majors within 1. The first pitch to Cardoso. Perfectly placed ball. Broke down inside and was sliding inward towards Cardoso. The first meeting between him and Rosado was a strikeout. The second, the same, a strikeout. The third, an RBI triple from Cardoso, finally breaking down his counterpart. What does the fourth meeting have in store? Cardoso sails one backwards. He's quickly down 0-2.
But this was the same story his last time up. He got down early on into his at-bat and found a way to bounce back, dug deep inside. And now he's just got to do the same. It was an RBI triple last time out. Let's see what he can pull out of his bag of tricks now.
Verhoeven at third. Plaz at second. Osika at first. And Cardoso's got his work cut out for him. That ball outside corner. We were waiting on the umpire's decision. We've seen it so many times this evening already with that delayed call. We didn't know what was quite going to happen. It looked like it was close. But Rose favors Osika on that one. Favors Cardoso on that one. 1-2.
The fans rallying behind the home side, willing Cardoso to crush that ball as far as he can take it.
Rosado doesn't quite like what he sees and now does get it from Plumpton. The 1-2 to Cardoso. Cardoso swings and it's going to land in the shallow center field. Verhoeven across to score. Victor Plaz to score. And over to third base is Tristan Osika. Oh, baby! Caden Cardoso, the savior for the Majors. They're within 3. They're very much alive in this game. And it's a 2 RBI single for Caden Cardoso.
And from one dangerous hitter to the next, from Cardoso, the soon-to-be Rookie of the Year and Player of the Game for the Majors, to Big Eddie DeOlio. And now you hear the chants, the Majors fans coming alive, and thankfully so many of the Majors faithful have stuck here in Labatt Park to witness this insane inning.
The tying run is at home in Eduardo DeOlio. Rosado checks that one over to Caden Cardoso's direction. Hearing a fair amount of boos from the Majors faithful. Osika's at third. Cardoso is at first. And DeOlio again is hit by a pitch. The third time this evening, Rosado has hit a Majors player, and they are not happy. The Majors fans are very much upset, asking for him to be tossed out of the game. Not even a warning yet from the umpire. And DeOlio is hit back-to-back at-bats.
And again on that same unprotected elbow. The exact same spot both times, and Big Eddie is so frustrated. He's thrown his equipment, tossed his bat practically over to the bullpen. He is heated right now, but not to say too much. This is the energy that the Royals need, that momentum, that hunger and desire, the fight and drive to win, the passion that DeOlio is showing. That's exactly what the Majors need.
Folks, it really doesn't get more dramatic than this. Bottom of the 7th, 2 outs. Majors down by 3. Bases are loaded for Byron Reichstein. He singled in his first at-bat, struck out in the following 2. DeOlio at first. Cardoso at second. Osika at third. The first toss from Rosado, low and in the dirt. Ball 1.
Reichstein, the 12-year veteran, just hoping and praying that he can add on to his 25 RBI total. All he needs is 1, 2, 3 more.
Rosado, beautiful pitch. Lots of movement on that sliding ball. Required a swing from Reichstein. Count even at 1-1. This is the biggest at-bat of the season for the London Majors. A pitch in the very same position as the previous one. Beautiful slider. Reichstein swings. He's down 1-2. 2 outs. All Rosado needs is one more strike to retire the hot Major side right now.
Don't lose hope. Reichstein is no ordinary hitter.
Ball high and outside. Reichstein was never going to take a swing at that one. Count even at 2-2.
Across his Majors career, 317 RBIs, 68 home runs. Historically, he has been Mr. Clutch for the Majors.
Rosado takes a peek back at Cardoso at second. This one is swung on. It's going to stay fair. Flip to second in time. A bobbling ball towards Royce Ando. And unfortunately, just like that, the Majors' offensive onslaught is put to a stop at the bottom of the 7th inning. Not before they add 2 to their tally, though, with the heroics of Caden Cardoso. Now 3 RBIs to his name and 2 back-to-back scoring sequences for him. The Majors are not done yet. This one is very much a contest. Things are heating up at Labatt Memorial Park, and you're watching Majors TV Playoff Baseball.
London International Airport provides a stress-free, easy and comfortable passenger experience. Visit flyyxu.ca to see our affordable sun destinations for winter. Travel is easy when you fly YXU.
When you need a night out, Throw London is on point. With an atmosphere that's a cut above, Throw London brings together the best in knife throwing, axe throwing, and darts. So it's the perfect spot for a date night, night out with friends, leagues, and team building for the office. You've got to be 13 or older to throw pointy objects and 19 plus to enjoy their fully licensed offerings. It's the best spot in London for some fun with an edge. London's original knife throwing. Check them out at 2190 Dundas Street East and online at ithrow.ca. That's ITHROW.ca.
Welcome back inside Labatt Memorial Park for Game 2 of Round 2, the semifinals of the IBL playoffs. The London Majors crawling back after going down 6-0, now trail 3-6, and what has become a more possible outcome for a potential Majors comeback. All pitching changes are presented by Throw, London's original knife throwing, and we have one right now. Skylar Janice enters the game in relief for Braden Farrington, and Janice has had some time already in the playoffs, appearing in 3 games over 2 innings, allowed 4 hits and 1 run,
Still a 0.00 ERA. He has been as good as they come, especially in the regular season too. 1.86 ERA, 2 wins across 19 innings pitched, 23 strikeouts, and has given up only 3 walks and 18 hits.
Adam Odd back at bat now, takes a big hack at that one, gets by him off the pitch from Skylar Janice inside. It was Adam Odd's 3 RBI double that shot the Baycats into a 6-0 lead, and those runs proving to be very vital at this point in the game. He's going to take a chop at this one, fouls it as well. Down 1-2 now to Janice.
Skylar Janice, like pretty much every other reliever London has thrown into this game, already having a solid start. Throwing strikes, doing his stuff, working his magic, and now facing off against Adam Odd, just a bit inside.
Janice's toss inside at the knees of Odd, who is 2 for 3 on the day. He scored a run, drove in 3, and is 2 for 3. Baycats leading the series 1-0. This one inside, called for strike 3, and another punch out from another new major entering the game. Farrington did it, Gore did it, and now Skylar Janice has also done it in his first appearance on the rubber.
Now Janice facing yet another stern test in the form of second baseman Royce Ando. So far in the regular season, Ando had a 194 batting average, 6 hits in 8 games, a late addition to the roster just like Hernandez, but has 4 RBIs and has come around to score 3 times.
This one is going to be absolutely slapped into the direction of Byron Reichstein and gets down for a single, Royce Ando. First pitch, first swing from Ando, and he's going to get an easy single for himself there.
Well, that's going to bring up the catcher, Tyler Plumpton, who has had a fantastic night defensively. Good framing up of pitches, great blocking on pitches down in the dirt. And now it's time to show off his offensive skills.
Been quite a few rocket fastballs from Cesar Rosano that have gone far left, and Plumpton's had to get his hands behind each and every one of them. No wild pitches allowed. Only one against Cardoso, but nobody was on base. So it didn't amount to anything in the end. Now, this could not honestly be the worst situation for the London Majors, allowing that single to Royce Ando. A double play is an option here. To get the side to sit down. Janice's pitch fouled off. We saw the run made by Royce Ando, ambitiously trying to steal second.
Well, if you're the Majors, that's all you're hoping and praying for right now. A double play, get you out of the inning and get your boys back up to bat. They have momentum on their side. Yes, they're down by 3, but with that offensive explosion in the 7th inning, it's anyone's game.
This ball is popped up, a far run made by the second baseman Chanderdat, and a nice catch in the end. Quite a far run, relieved both Cardoso and Reichstein of their respective duties, and recording the out for the Majors. 2 outs now for London.
Well, that's going to flip things over back to the top of the order. Canis Ijo stepping up to the plate. A 2023 IBL second-team All-Star. He was lights out in the regular season, a .363 batting average, 28 RBIs, 3 triples, 17 doubles. This guy can hit for both contact and power and should provide a stern test to Janice.
We're back to the top of the Baycats order for the 5th time this evening. Janice's fastball is swung on. Chanderdat is going to let it dribble through his legs. Unfortunate play there. It seemed like it could have been an easy out for the Majors. Will undoubtedly be ruled as an error. And the corners are painted for the Baycats. Chanderdat says, my bad on that one. And the Majors just have to brush it off and move forward. They still have 2 outs on their side in the top of the 8th.
That one just took an awkward hop as it went from grass to dirt. And Chanderdat, unfortunately, just couldn't get his glove in the right place at the right time. Just a weird bit of movement once it hit the base path. Probably not entirely Chanderdat's fault there.
Was a bouncing ball, not the most routine play in the end. Unfortunately for the Majors, it slipped through the legs of Chanderdat. Janice, fastball inside, called immediately for a strike. No hesitation in that time from the umpire. And unfortunately for Janice, it is Brandon Hernandez. Although he's struck out twice in this game, he's still one of the best hitters in the IBL at the moment. And he's showing us why right there. He's going to score an RBI single, and around to third base is Canis Ijo holding up there, and it will advance another one. Hernandez moving to second. It's going to be an RBI double for Brandon Hernandez, and he scores. Tyler Plumpton.
Hernandez, you had to expect that he was going to show up and show off against the Majors. Looking at the regular season, 5 out of 8 times he was up at bat, he hit the ball. 3 of those were doubles. He had 4 RBIs and 1 run in the regular season against the Majors. And thanks to our camera crew tonight for letting us know that Jonathan Henry is up in the pen for your Majors. Will he get put in in the 9th inning. Despite Janice's best efforts, he may not stick around for longer.
He would be the 5th Majors pitcher to appear in this evening's game. Hard swing from Williams for strike one. He's going to want a new bat, I believe.
Yeah, that looks like it.
Excuse me, just dusting out with some tar there.
Yep, just trying to get a little more grip. It kind of slipped. I was watching, the bat slipped as he tried to make his swing. So yeah, definitely for the sake of everyone's safety, yeah, go ahead, Williams. Tighten up the grip, get a little more tar on the bat, get a good feel for it, and let's get through this one.
So unfortunate there, that play through the legs of Chanderdat. Could have ended the inning for the Majors. Instead, they allow another run here. However, it's 0-2 against Malik Williams, and they still have 2 offensive opportunities to turn things around. Williams is 1 for 4 on the day. The 0-2 with 2 outs. He's going to check his swing in the end. Hold up now nicely. It's going to be 1-2.
That one was a 50-50 ball right in on that outside corner. So close, and that call really could have gone either way. But now we have got a 1-2 count.
The 1-2 to Williams. Swung on, strike 3 for the London Majors. They get out of another predicament. Skylar Janice holding strong, his 2nd strikeout of the evening. And London isn't done yet, giving themselves a chance in the bottom of the 8th. They're moving to an important part of the order now to get some business done. It's going to be, I believe, Champ Gardner stepping into the place of originally where Starling Joseph was. We'll keep an eye out on that for you, but the Majors have Champ Gardner, followed by Brad Verhoeven, and then Victor Plaz. The upcoming lineup. If you recall, Brad Verhoeven came in as a pinch runner for Cleveland Brownlee, who got that single that started the Majors' 3-run offense there. So we'll see if any of that can carry over to a similar part of the order. Brad Verhoeven in there, Champ Gardner, and Victor Plaz. And we do officially have a pitching change for the Barrie Baycats. All pitching changes are presented to you by Throw, London's original knife throwing.
Hi, I'm Paul. I am a Ling coach at Throw London. We're located right beside Lynn's Bakery in Delhi. We're looking forward to having you come and have your axe throwing, knife throwing, or dart throwing event here at Throw London.
London International Airport provides a stress-free, easy and comfortable passenger experience. Visit flyYXU.ca to see our affordable sun destinations for winter. Travel is easy when you fly YXU.
Welcome back, folks, inside Labatt Memorial Park. Brandon Hillier finally relieving Cesar Rosado on the mound for the Barrie Baycats. What a performance. Hats off to Cesar Rosado. All night long, he was absolutely fantastic against a tough Majors side. Put in really good work against them and gave his side a formidable chance to come out on top in this one. Let's talk a little bit, though, about Hillier.
Yeah, Rosado, just to give him his due, 10 strikeouts, 117 pitches, 74 of which were strikes, as Champ Gardner's going to take that one deep.
Garner belts one deep. It's carrying. It's not going to get down, unfortunately, for the Majors. Kanis Ejo underneath it in the end. Had to make a quick run there. It looks like he dropped the ball throwing it back. And nonetheless, though, it's going to be recorded as an out. How unfortunate. What a string of offense that would have been. Wow, first pitch from Hillier is absolutely thwarted backwards. I imagine if you're him, that would have gave you the shivers. And it's going to be a fly nonetheless from Champ Gardner. Brad Verhoeven in place for Cleveland Brownlee's spot, where all the action got started in the last couple of innings. Let's see what he can do against a new pitcher in Hillier. This one not in the strike zone, outside for a ball, down 1-0.
Well, I don't think you can shiver the timbers of Brandon Hillier, a 9-year IBL vet in his 5th season with the Barrie Baycats. He's seen it all. And in the regular season, well, this is his first playoff appearance, so in the regular season, a 5.26 ERA, 1 win, 1 loss, and across 13 innings pitched, gave up just 7 walks and struck out 11.
Fastball outside for ball number 3. And for the first time in a while, here come the ball for Chance.
A welcome addition to Labatt Memorial Park once again.
Verhoeven is going to take that in a similar spot to the last pitch, but it will be called by umpire Rose for a strike. Verhoeven now down 3-1. And finally, the Majors don't have to deal with the fastballs of Rosado. Not that it might matter if we're going to see pitches like that from Hillier. Fighting back from 3-0 down now. Hillier won himself a full count. Still only 1 out, and this is his first playoff appearance. Verhoeven smartly ticks that one off foul and keeps himself alive. Count is 3-2 still.
Brad Verhoeven in the playoffs so far has mostly come in as a pinch hitter or pinch runner at some point in the game. Has a .600 batting average, 3 hits in 5 at-bats, and already has an RBI.
The full count is well inside, almost hits the legs there of Brad Verhoeven. He's going to make it safely to first anyway, so the Majors do have one on with only 1 out. Very much needed so as well. So Hillier can't remain strong after fighting his way back to a full count. And Verhoeven on first. The Majors only down by 4. Still have a chance here. They're still alive. Victor Plaz was hit by a pitch in his last at bat. He steps back out.
Right up in the ribs, the upper abdomen area. He still looks a little shaken up, a little worse for wear. But Victor Plaz in the regular season, 2 home runs, 21 RBIs, and 5 doubles. And in the postseason already, 3 ribeyes and 1 home run.
His fastball upstairs from Hillier. What a change of pace from Hillier coming in to relieve Rosado of his duties. Rosado was just so amazing all night long, and Hillier has a lot to follow that up with. Good fastball, though, low and outside for strike number 1. An update from out of town in Welland. Guelph leading 10-3 now over the Jackfish. Potentially going to go up 2-0 or 2-1 in the series. Victor Plaz takes a big swing at this one. He's down 1-2. Not a good time to strike out here for the Majors. They need absolutely everything being thrown out towards the in and outfield.
Hillier had massive shoes to fill from Rosado, but he is doing his job. He is earning his wage tonight.
This toss, high and upstairs. Good eye from Victor Plaz to leave it. Count even at 2-2.
Victor Plaz knows most of these Baycats inside and out. Played on their team last season and now facing off against a former teammate in Hillier.
Brad Verhoeven still over at first. This ball is in the dirt, and Victor Plaz tells Verhoeven to stay put, don't make the run, because, as you mentioned, defensively, Tyler Plumpton has played a fantastic game all night long. That one was in the dirt, but blocked it nicely to prevent a wild pitch and any movement from the Majors infielder sitting over at first base. Plumpton doing a fantastic job considering he's taking over the duties of all-star starter in Hayden Jaco.
Jaco moved out to right field for tonight's contest. And this evening, both have done exceptional jobs in their respective roles.
It's a full count to Victor Plaz. The toss is swung on and looks like he got hit again awkwardly. Just clammed up in the wrong area. Ricocheting back and hitting him. He's just going to have to walk this one off. By the way it looks, Victor Plaz will stay out there.
Yeah, that was a foul, but by the looks of it, hit him a little south of the equator. He's shaking off his legs.
It's a nice way to put it. South of the equator.
Did hit him below the belt.
Very nice way to put it, and he has to shake things off. It's going to be full count round 2 Hillier to Plaz. Verhoeven on first. 1 out for the Majors. The bottom of the 8th. Against the Majors. Hillier's pitch swung on and fouled back right in our eye line there, coming back very, very hard against the high wall.
And now the Majors fans back alive once more, energized by this burst of offense from the home side in full voice tonight.
Full count, round 3. Plaz is going to swing on this one. It's going to make its way into shallow center. The catch is made. Shallow right field. My goodness. That was not an easy catch whatsoever from Hayden Jaco. He slides in perfectly and robs Victor Plaz of a single. It was a beautiful sliding attempt, and just that is amazing. Really deserving outfielding there from the Barrie Baycats and Hayden Jaco.
A catch heard around the IBL. And as you just mentioned, Ty, Hayden Jaco, typically the all-star catcher for the Baycats, but now has proven that he has the skills to stand out in the outfield.
Jagan Chanernat steps back up after striking out in his last at-bat to Cesar Rosado. Takes another hack at this one, down 0-2.
Chanderdat, as we mentioned before, in 9 regular season games, 3 hits, has come around to score 3 times, but also had 5 strikeouts.
3 pitches, 3 strikes against Jagan Chanderdat. The Majors are sat down and left speechless. Another inning with no runs for them, even though Brad Verhoeven was on first base. The Majors still have their work cut out for them heading in to the 9th inning of play. Score 7-3 in favor of Barrie. This is round 2, game 2 of the IBL playoffs, and you're watching Majors TV.
In London, Ontario, the world's oldest baseball grounds. Now through Labor Day, book your guided tour and walk the same field as Ty Cobb, Fergie Jenkins, Honus Wagner, and some of baseball's most legendary players. View artifacts from over the years inside the original 1940 clubhouse. Experience baseball history in London, Ontario. Book your guided tour at labattparktours.ca.
Hi, I'm Paul. I am a lane coach at Throw London. We're located right beside Lynn's Bakery in Delhi. We're looking forward to having you come and have your axe throwing, knife throwing, or dart throwing event here at Throw London.
The 9th and final inning, and what has turned out to be a thrilling game between the Barrie Baycats and the London Majors. Late night here from downtown London. Happy September, happy Labor Day, folks. Labor Day weekend. It's been a great ball game so far. The Barrie Baycats leading the best of 5 series 1-0. Looking to go 2-0, and they head back home for a potential sweep tomorrow night if the Majors don't have anything to say about it. If they do, they could tie the series in what would be a dramatic comeback. But first, they need the heroics of pitcher Jonathan Henry to keep things at zeros defensively in this 9th inning. Henry comes in as the 5th and final pitcher in the Majors rotation this evening.
Well, they do say that the best offense is a good defense, and if the Royals, spending too much time in Guelph, if the Majors have any chance of coming back into this game, it all starts with Jonathan Henry.
Ryan Rijo with a blast, and no doubt about it, silences the Majors crowd. And that one is taken yard. 8-3. Ryan Rijo, a solo home run. and almost certainly puts Barrie up 2-0 in the series.
Ryan Riho picking up his 7th home run of the season, regular and postseasons combined, and the big man's got a big smile on his face. He is loving that one, his first home run of the postseason.
There was just absolutely no doubt about it. Knew right away the bat echoed throughout the ballpark here at Labatt. And my goodness, it was just utterly smoked into right field. Nolan Mackey-Broda back up now. Crowd a lot more quiet and more skeptical about the chances of London's comeback here. They now trail by 5 again.
Jonathan Henry, fresh out of the Regina Red Sox in the West Coast Baseball League. So far in the postseason, 0.1 innings pitched.
Mackey-Broda's going to dribble one out to Victor Plaz. A nice throw over. That was no easy defensive play. Made it look effortless, Victor Plaz, and flips it over for the first out of the 9th inning. Over to Caden Cardoso at first.
As I was saying before, Mackey-Broda so rudely interrupted me with that ground ball. Jonathan Henry in the postseason, 0.1 innings pitched, an 81 ERA heading into tonight's contest. Gave up 3 walks, 2 hits, and 4 runs, 3 of them earned in his last outing against the Hamilton Cardinals.
We're going to have a pinch hitter in here now for the Barrie Baycats.
That is Kyle Maves, by the looks of it, the 25-year-old in his 2nd year with the Barrie Baycats. Batting .333 this postseason.
Kyle Maves in place of Hayden Jaco, who made that terrific catch out in right field. Shallow right field, had to make a long run for it. Got his glove underneath it and silenced the Majors crowd.
Maves has 2 hits in 3 games, 2 runs, and 2 walks in the postseason so far.
This ball from Henry, well outside, breaking low. Count at 1-2.
In the regular season, batted .229, 11 hits in 13 games, and 1 RBI. He's looking for 1 more here tonight.
This one is going to be sliced into shallow left field. Another ball that leaves the Majors outfielders looking at each other. Confusing play there. That's the 2nd time this evening that a sliced ball has dropped perfectly and plummeted its way down into shallow left field. Too far for any of the Majors. A tough play regardless. So Maves goes 1 for 1 on the evening.
Yeah, it's just startling to see players with the defensive caliber of Plaz, of Osika, of Krasminski, all looking at each other in bewilderment, shaking their heads as that one drops in shallow left field.
Arguably tonight's MVP stepping back in. Baycats' Adam Odd singled, scored a run, then a 3 RBI double. He's had a fantastic night. He's going to dribble one in the direction of Cheddarnat, pops up into his glove, over to Cardoso to record the 2nd out of the 9th for the Majors. They just need 1 more. They're not completely out of the woods yet, the Baycats. 5 runs isn't an insurmountable amount.
Anything can very well happen, especially here in the late stages of the game. And now Henry's going to have to contend with Royce Ando. Ando has 5 hits in 3 games heading into tonight's contest and had 1 or 2 knocks earlier in the game.
Also having himself a solid game, an RBI double back in the 2nd at bat, as well as a single in his latest at bat. Still a man at 2nd. That is Maves for the Baycats. Henry and the Majors trying to get out of this inning and give themselves one last hope in their final amount of batters in the bottom of the 9th.
If it wasn't enough to deal with already, Maves, 5 stolen bases this season, a speed threat. if there ever was one, and that one very much inside, but called a strike.
A sliding pitch inside from Henry. Paints the top left corner. Inside on Ando. A strike away from retiring the side. Fastball low and away. Count even at 2 apiece.
Good coverage there from DeOlio, kind of like his compatriot Tyler Plumpton. Two sides of the very same coin, both excellent at blocking the ball when it heads into the dirt. Doing their job to the best of their abilities tonight.
This toss is swung on and fouled off behind the plate. Had to be a reach on that one for Ando. Still a decent amount of fans hanging around here at Labatt Memorial Park late into the evening. Approaching 9:20 p.m. local time in London. Fastball low and outside once again. Count is now full. And a tedious top of the 9th here for the Majors.
Majors fans coming alive, partially trying to will Henry to the strikeout.
Another ball swung on. Not too much pace behind these pitches, and you can see Henry is a little frustrated with himself. Needs to get it under control. Only one pitch required to end the inning. To end the top of the inning. Full count, 2 outs. Henry's toss to Ando, swung on. It's going to be drilled right towards the direction of Tristan Osika. Flip to Cardoso. It's going to be in time. The umpire perhaps giving the Majors a little bit of a break there as it originally slipped out of the glove of Cardoso. Tried to recover, and the umpire's going to say it was fair. In the end, the Majors able to keep this one manageable. Only down by 5 runs. Let's look at the positive side of this for the Majors side. Tristan Osika is up at bat in the bottom of the 9th. He singled in his last out for the Majors. Gibson Krasminski has also reached base in this game. He is to follow, and the final at-bat of the game, if 2 outs are recorded from the Baycats side, would be against Caden Cardoso. But before that, we have a pitching change, our final one of the evening perhaps, from London's original knife throwing.
When you need a night out, Throw London is on point. With an atmosphere that's a cut above, Throw London brings together the best in knife throwing, axe throwing, and darts. So it's the perfect spot for a date night, night out with friends, leagues, and team building for the office. You've got to be 13 or older to throw pointy objects and 19 plus to enjoy their fully licensed offerings. It's the best spot in London for some fun with an edge. London's original knife throwing. Check them out at 2190 Dundas Street East and online at ithrow.ca. That's ITHROW.ca.
If there's guys on base, I'm trying to create the situation in my head. Corey Hunter taught me that. Create it in your mind, where you're throwing the ball, what you're doing in this situation. When it happens, you're just reacting. Defense, you can always make a play. You always have an opportunity. You never know what ball's going to get hit to you. It's always a good feeling when you're running down balls for your pitcher. You look forward to running balls and robbing home runs. Nothing more satisfying than making a dive play or a big play.
The bottom of the 9th from Labatt Memorial Park. Game 2 of the semifinals, the 2024 Inter-County Baseball League playoffs. The London Majors trail by 5 to the Barrie Baycats, who lead the series 1-0. It's all or nothing here for the Majors. Tristan Osika steps back on the plate, and we have a pitching change for the Baycats. It's going to be Carlos Sano.
The 31-year-old rookie in the postseason, just 1 outing, 3 innings pitched, 4 strikeouts, a save to his name, but a 9 ERA in the regular season. He was a bit more composed. 4.39 ERA across 43 innings pitched, 3 losses, 4 saves to his name though, and 34 punch-outs.
Back-to-back swings from Osika. He's down 0-2 quickly. This ball looming outside. Count at 1-2. Osika is going to be followed by Gibson Krasminski and then by Caden Cardoso. The Majors desperately need help. Sano's toss is not going to be gone from Osika. Fights himself back to an even count, 2-2.
They say that diamonds are made under pressure. Well, it's crunch time. It's time for one of these majors to shine under the bright lights here at Labatt Park.
Osika's 1 for 3. He's going to chop this one foul behind him, keeping himself afloat in this at-bat. Count still 2-2. Bottom of the 9th. No outs for the Majors.
Sano has been the go-to closer for the Baycats all season long. Osika's got his work cut out for him, but he's been around this league long enough that he can do the damage.
This toss upstairs. Osika swings, and he is retired. A strikeout right away for Carlos Sano. Very unfortunate, and keeps the Majors crowd silent. Back-to-back punch-outs from the Baycat side. Gibson Kresminski, 1 for 4 on the day with a single in his third at-bat. Needs anything here against Sano.
Had 7 doubles, 2 home runs, and 22 RBIs in the regular season. He would welcome any of those right now.
Sano delivering the business. Nice pitch, high and inside. Didn't even draw a swing from Kresminski. Oh and 1 with 1 out. This one is swung on. It's carrying left, and it's going to drop fair for the Majors. That ball was left in the end from Nolan Macabrota. It looked like he could have potentially made that run, but it was slicing in a weird direction. The velocity carried it further and further left, and just like that, the Majors have a tiny bit of life in the bottom of the 9th. Kresminski reaches base for the second time, and up steps Caden Cardoso. Caden Cardoso made good work of Cesar Rosado, who got the better of him in his first 2 at-bats, but then responded quite strongly. An RBI triple in his third at-bat and a 2 RBI single in his next. Cardoso fouling this one off. Behind him and to the left, down 0-1.
Going back to that last play, Nolan Macabrota very easily could have gotten to that ball. I think he thought it was going to be foul. He was taking his time. He was jogging over, and the Baycats may very well have to pay for his lackadaisical attitude.
Cardoso takes a swing at this one, down 0-2, like he was in the previous at-bat. No stranger to fighting himself out of situations like this. He's got Kresminski on first, and a 2-out, room for error. The Majors could really use their hitman here. He's going to belt one. It's going to land fair into mid-right field. Cardoso, back-to-back hits for the London Majors. He signals out there, reaches first safely, and advances Gibson Kresminski to second. We're not done yet, folks. Eduardo De Olio, also a man who started off 0-2, followed that by 2 HBPs. Not to say it didn't take a little bit of a sting coming with both of those. Nonetheless, reached base. And the Majors maybe are not done yet.
Eddie, one of the many dynamite Dominicans in this game tonight, facing off against Sano, staring him down.
De Olio takes a huge swing. That one was high and upstairs. He's down 0-1. Good fastball from Carlos Sano. The second toss fouled off in a similar position. Awkwardly contorted his body there, De Olio, and threw that ball behind him. He's down 0-2.
So far this season, regular and postseason combined, 6 home runs and 33 RBIs, and just with Kresminski, De Olio would welcome either right here, right now.
The crowd trying to play their part. DeOlio is going to tick one off. It's going to be a long run for Adam Odd, but it is in time. So 2 outs against the Majors, but Eduardo DeOlio will advance the side. Caden Cardoso now on second, Gibson Krasminski on third. 2 runners in scoring position, and up steps Byron Reichstein. Reichstein has struck out in his last 3 at-bats. Now would be a time to change those numbers.
Has 24 RBIs, regular and postseason combined, 6 home runs, 9 doubles, and any of those will cash in a run or 2 here. Something the Majors desperately need.
The Baycats are an out away. Check that, 2 pitches away now potentially. First one downstairs for a strike, low and outside. Sano taking his time. Fires one, past Byron Reichstein. They're a pitch away. A pitch away from going up 2-0 in the IBL semifinals.
And a hush falls over Labatt Memorial Park. They don't want to watch what happens next.
Sano gets a swing. It's going to be carrying back. The catch is dropped. The catch is dropped by Nolan Macabrota. Caden Cardoso in to score, as well as Gibson Krasminski. What looked like a certain out there in the end is dropped from Nolan Macabrota. The Majors are down by 3 now. 8-5, and 2 runs score.
And who could it be now? Champ Garner steps up to the plate. He was a regular season hero for these Majors. 267 batting average, 7 doubles, 2 triples, 2 home runs, 16 RBIs, 4 stolen bases. The postseason hasn't been so kind to him, though. A 000 batting average, 3 strikeouts in just 1 game played.
Say what you will about the Majors tonight, but with that swing, they have recorded now 8 hits in this evening's affair. So not too bad from the Majors side. Obviously looking to improve on that, but has been worse in the past. Champ Garner in a big situation now. We thought the game was over and done for. Not quite yet. Swung on. It's going to be a bouncing ball that gets past Brandon Hernandez. Folks, something could be changing in the air. Champ Garner, an RBI bloop single that makes its way past Brandon Hernandez and brings the Majors to within 2. Believe it or not, the tying run is at home plate. Bottom of the 9th, 2 outs, and Brad Verhoeven, and one of the biggest at-bats of his baseball career.
I've got goosebumps, Ty. Folks at home, do not change the channel. Stay right here on Majors TV, because this one just got oh so interesting.
They couldn't, could they? Big swing. Strike 1 from Sano against Brad Verhoeven. What seemed like an impossible comeback still seems unlikely, but a little less unlikely now. You never know what can happen. Verhoeven waits on that one. It's going to be downstairs off the toss from Sano. And you could see Sano's reaction to that ball that ended up landing in on the 2 RBI double from Reichstein. He was devastated that got too far out of the hand of Macabrota. This one is going to be popped up. It's a pop-up carrying, and that will do it, folks. The Barrie Baycats able to crawl out of a potential comeback scenario against the Majors. London would not go down without a fight. But Barrie now leads 2-0 in the IBL semifinals over the London Majors, and will go home to play Game 3 tomorrow night, 6:05 p.m. in Barrie. potentially a death sentence for the Majors, being down 0-2 now in the series with a lot to do. But before we end this one off, we're going to throw it down one more time to Justin Kohler.
Well, gentlemen, it certainly got exciting towards the end there, but at the end of the day, it was a difference of offense and consistent offense, I would say. The Majors definitely got something going towards the end, scoring from the 6th inning on, but it was those few innings at the start were the real difference maker, where Barrie was able to get consistent hits throughout the entire course of the game, and Roop said it best before the game, but it was a big difference between hitting with runners in scoring position. The Majors had a couple opportunities with multiple men on throughout the game, bases loaded a couple times, and just were not able to come through with those clutch hits. Like I said, very exciting towards the end, but we'll see how the series continues in tomorrow's game over in Barrie. Evening games start, I believe, around 6:05 as well. And I'm Justin Kohler. Let's send it back up to Ty and Josh in the Game Day London press box. And gentlemen, what a tough end.
A tough end indeed. Thanks so much for that, Justin. Wow. Despite what anything you can say about this game, you have to admit it was a thriller right up until the end. Barrie Baycats at one point in this one were leading 6-0 before the Majors crawled back, making it a very, very close game. Obviously, you talk about standout players for the Majors. Caden Cardoso came up big when the Majors needed him. Did a fantastic job there, but I have to say tonight's MVP probably goes to Cesar Rosado.
Yeah, Rosado, just looking at my notes here, 10 strikeouts, 117 pitches, and somehow, someway, 74 strikes out of those 117 pitches. He was simply lights out right from the get-go. And like I mentioned on the broadcast, most pitchers, as the innings go by, they start to lose steam. Their pitches aren't working like they used to. Rosado just got better as the innings went by. He's a name to watch out for the future.
Definitely one of the MVPs of the season for the Barrie Baycats, and making his case for potentially MVP of the playoffs. If this was the last home game of the season for the London Majors, we'd like to thank you all so much for tuning in from wherever you may be and for your support all season long. It's not quite done yet, though. Your London Majors will travel to Barrie tomorrow night for Game 3 of the IBL semifinals in 2024. Can they make a comeback? If they do, you'll have Game 4 back here on Wednesday, September 4th in London. We'll see what happens, folks. But from all of us here at Majors TV, I'm Ty White. He's Joshua Alderman. Thank you so much for tuning in. God bless and have a great night. See you tomorrow in Barrie.